Hi, it's CatAtMat, and today I am playing on the Underground server. And basically, on this server, there are no trees. The only animals you can find are rabbits, and the only way to get food is either through fishing or through getting lucky with a zombie drop with potato and carrots. And that's because this world has been stricken by abomination and nuclear warheads, right? And basically, I decided to play on there and give me a challenge, and I got enchanted, I got set up. The spawn isn't the best, I'm gonna be honest, and you have specific trades you can get with villagers to get, like, different wood types and stuff, because there's, like, rundown trees and stuff on the server still. And while I was doing this, I decided to make up my own base with my own little, like, dark theme going on, because I'm like, why not? And while I was doing this, I was thinking about what I could make on here that would be really cool on this server that not a lot of people play on, and would just be a cool build overall. And, well, it's war-torn and stricken, and I was thinking, well, what's the opposite of that? Healthy, plentiful, and then I thought of, there's a desert area specifically. Well, what's in a desert? Because a desert is like almost a wasteland within itself. And, well, there's an oasis. Whether you imagine it or it's an actual oasis with palm trees and water and animals, and it's plentiful, right? And I'm like, that's what I'm gonna build, is an oasis. Because I just think that would be really cool. You're in like a dirt land, and just randomly you see this giant tree out of nowhere as you're walking in Minecraft, and there's food and stuff, there's like a house and things like that. And so now that I got that plan, I'm making sure I got all my stuff enchanted and set up, because I also have to like stop every 10 minutes and get like fish and stuff because I run out of food, because, you know, not everything is perfect here. And I got the food, I got the stuff, and I start searching around the server for like a good area and stuff to build the oasis, because this is what I've kind of decided. And I kind of get distracted as I search. Like, I'll get obsidian randomly, I'll search in other people's chests and stuff to just look around. These are the trees I'm talking about that you'll find on the server that I'll cut down and like get stuff if I need it. But I'm searching around for a good area that's like a circular area, and this is kind of what I landed on eventually, is I found this big circular area. There are like caves and stuff that I'm gonna have to fill in and fix, which is gonna be annoying. But the first part of any oasis to start with is it's a pond, it's a lake, it's an area, body of water. There's a body of water, right, that I have to manually create, because there is no natural spawning body of water. The only water you can find are in caves, and it's kind of annoying to collect and get. So I already had brought 2 buckets with me, and I just started filling up the place, right? Grab a bucket and I fill it. I grab a bucket and I fill it. And I feel like that a lot of people don't take the time to point out how much grinding you do when you do these giant builds, or like time that it takes that's kind of wasteful, but it's kind of needed to be done in order to be able to do it in the first place. Because, oh my goodness, did I learn about water physics doing this, as I placed the same bucket of water in the same area over and over again. And then I recognized I was off by 1 block, and it filled up the whole entire thing. I did that a lot as I was filling it in, because I don't know, I'm bad at aiming water buckets into blocks for some reason. Like, you never thought that would be a skill you would need in Minecraft, of all things. But with the build that I decided to do, that was a skill that I needed, that I had to learn eventually. But after you get like the main part of it done and you're just filling out the rest of it, it goes really fast, because you're just placing down 1 block and the rest fills up and you're done. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, we gotta do this 5 more times, because I wanted it to go really far up. I just don't want this to be any tiny little oasis. No, I want this to be large. I want 60 blocks tall trees going up, you know? The cave and the water is very annoying. I keep getting messed up by it. And eventually, I will, like, fix it eventually. I was just trying to get, like, the whole entire thing, like, filled up with water, and then I would fix the stuff that was messed up earlier. Honestly, that was a bad idea. Now, in retrospect, I should have just done it in the beginning and gotten the dirt and filled it. But did I do that? No, I did not. That's not what me, CatAtMat, does. No, I must fill it all up and make it difficult first rather than going the easy route. But it is what it is. I did get it done, and, you know, it is what it is. But so 2 down, another 2, 3 to go, something like that. Here's what I do when I get into this mode, where I'm just doing something very repetitive over and over again. I also do that in building. When I build, I like to make patterns when I build. It's a lot of fun, and it makes it easier to build. But what I like to do when I do stuff that's, like, really repetitive and annoying is what I do is I put on, like, an audiobook or, like, music, or I get in VC with friends and I talk to them about other stuff, although most of the time I'll get distracted, so I don't do that much. But no, like, getting, like, a really long, maybe, like, a podcast could work for people, but having something in the background for me to think about while I'm doing something that's very mundane. It's like, if you ever play Pokemon and you watch Shiny Hunters, that's what they'll do. They'll have music or something else on in the background, or they're talking about something else to distract them from doing a very repetitive task. Because you start to memorize what to do in your brain, and it becomes almost automatic to you. So then you don't really have to think about, oh, I'm getting a water bucket and I'm placing it down. I'm filling up the water and placing it down. You know, because it is so repetitive and simple to do, I really like having something in the background while I'm doing this stuff, because it takes so long. Like, I really don't think people recognize how long it takes to build, like, giant projects and stuff, because most people don't build giant projects. Like, if you look at, like, the older parts of YouTube and builders, they're all, like, 20 minutes long, and most of the time they'll, like, speed it up after they've shown the first repetitive part of it, because that's what it is when you repeat stuff when you're building. And I feel like a lot of people that don't build don't understand that, and they get frustrated because they're like, well, how do I build this? This looks so cool. And it's the repetition of many that makes it really cool. Like, if you've ever done this with art when you're drawing, right? If you get a ruler, right? If you get the ruler tool while drawing digitally, or you might have even done this with physical art before, where if you do it with physical art, you fold your paper, like you have one side that's fully covered with graphite, and then you place it down on another piece of paper, and on the top of that previous piece of paper, the other side where it's not graphite, you draw on it, and then under it, the graphite that was under that page will transfer to the other page, and it will duplicate that. And you will get your original thing, and you will keep filling up that page with graphite and duplicating it over and over again. And then you have this really cool pattern that coincides with one another that gives you a weird effect. And if you do this with the ruler, it does the same thing but instantly. So you can have a lot of fun affecting and changing how that works. And the reason why I say that is because that's what you do when you're building in Minecraft. At least for me, is when I build in Minecraft and I make those patterns and I replicate them, it creates that effect where it looks a lot bigger and a lot more complicated when it's actually very simplistic in the design of it. And you kind of have to be smart with how you do it that way because of that. Because if you have a wonky way of doing it, right, it's gonna look off. It's gonna look weird. It's like the terracotta block, the glazed terracotta block that, like, everybody when it first came out hated, because at least I hated it, because I didn't realize that how you turn it, it will create a pattern that is preset on the block once you put it together correctly. That's basically what I'm explaining. However, that stuff was a little too complicated for me, because it's so annoying to get it correct that it's more like a fashion statement than anything else with that type of stuff. Mine is so much more simplistic. I got like 2 or 3 things that coincide, not like 50, because there's like 50 pixels that coincide with the block, because just by changing it a little bit, it looks completely different, and it looks wrong and off, and it's horrible. I don't like glazed terracotta blocks. That's all I'm gonna say. But I started having an issue with as I was filling it because I didn't fill in those previous circles. Things weren't filling up, which is why I was talking about earlier with how you need to block it up first, so then you don't have to go in after and fill it up when in the middle of doing it, because it's so annoying. You also have other parts that won't fill up because of that at your ending layer, so you have to get blocks and place them, which I eventually end up doing. And it's such a time waster if you just did it in the first place. And don't be lazy like me, because I was lazy and I made that mistake, and it was a mistake that should not have been made. But I don't know. I thought that it wouldn't be an issue, and I thought water physics was superior, and I was incredibly wrong because of it. So, but I got it filled up, mainly. And I'm just filling it up again, and filling it up again, because that's what you do. Okay, now we're to the point where I had to start getting blocks so I could place them down. And I had to go back and forth a lot, because I would misjudge how many blocks I needed, because I'm like, oh, it's just a few simple things, I won't need that much. I was wrong. I needed so much more than I realized. There was never enough blocks. I had to continually, like, alright, I filled this up, now we're good. No, I need to get, like, I should have just gotten, like, my inventory fully filled and done it in one trip. But I'm like, no, I'll just need, like, a stack or two. That'll be easy. I didn't realize how big I had made it until much later. And here's the thing, even once I fill it up, because of the higher spots not being filled, I would have to get other blocks and fill them up. And it was really annoying to do that, because it could have been so much easier, but I didn't do that. So now I had to fix all of this previous mess that I had made. And this, let me tell you, this took at least 30 minutes, if not an hour, of me fixing up this water, because I just didn't think about it, and I paid for it greatly. And I had some concrete powder, because I thought of building a Gyarados into the middle of it. And which I'll explain the process of why I thought I was gonna build a Gyarados. But I had some concrete powder, so I placed the concrete powder and let it turn into concrete as I used it to fill all of the water up. I thought I was ingenious with that. Because instead of just getting more dirt and stuff, it was easier in a sense. It wasn't. None of it was easy. I made it very difficult for myself, in fact. But it was fun! I was being efficient in a way, but not at all at the same time, because it still kept having issues. But once it filled, it was cool, and we were all good, and there was only a little bit left to do. And I'm like, oh, I'm so close. And then I forgot that I didn't fill up this one area. And I tried just not filling it up, and just, okay, it'll just be a cave. And I did have to eventually fill it up, because it was being an issue. Because I realized with the concrete that I was filling it up where I was placing it. So, because I really tried to not have to fill up this cave. I really, really tried. And I just kept failing after block after block after block. So that was that one. But yeah, just it takes a lot of time to do this stuff, and it took way too much time for me to do this water stuff. I just made it way too difficult. Don't do this to yourself. If you ever make this, learn from my mistakes on this. Do not follow the exact thing I did, please. Alright? Now, the reason why I wanted to do a Gyarados, getting back to this, sorry for rambling. The reason why I wanted to do a Gyarados was because I like building Pokemon. Alright? That's what you need to know. I liked building Pokemon in Minecraft. In fact, I was known on a server for having Pikachus at my base. And, like, every single base, I would have a Pikachu. So whenever somebody found my base, they'd be like, oh, CatAtMat's here, because there'd be a Pikachu. there. And that would be my house, is I would live inside the Pikachu. Because it's like, well, I already made it. Might as well do it. And I decided to build a Gyarados because we had limited blocks, limited colors. You know, there was no way to trade for dye. So, like, blue was the main dye that you could get. So I'm like, blue Pokemon, Oasis. And when you look at other blue Pokemon, actually, they have a lot more colors than you think of. And, like, I can't get black, right? Squids don't spawn. I can't get black. So I'm like, oh, Gyarados, because he fixed that color palette. Anyway, I started placing the sand because I was thinking, well, if this is an oasis in the middle of the dirt, shouldn't I put sand here? Because the oasis is supposed to be a sand. So I placed it, and I realized, yeah, I need to place sand here. So now I have to go to the desert, mine sand, come back and start placing it. And oh, by the way, this is when I start filling up that cave eventually. I finally got to it after I realized I was going to place sand because, well, sand doesn't stay up by itself, so it's annoying. And because I decided this later, right? So it's all awful. So it's all going to be one block less, right? Which sucks. But oh well, 'tis what it is. And by the way, I went through so many shovels getting this sand. Like, there were many shovels sacrificed to the sand, I will tell you that. To the point that I got efficiency 4 from efficiency 1 shovels. That's how many shovels I used and would merge together to have another shovel. It was ridiculous. But, so basically what I would do is I would mine this. Because you can't get shulkers on this server either. That's the other thing. You can't get shulkers. Like, this was a challenge to do. Because, like, in normal Minecraft, if you can get the netherite and everything and get your enchantments, this could be done really quickly. Like, this would make no time at all. Not a worry. Pish poss, easy peasy. What are you complaining about, right? Not here. Because it's so much more difficult. The only way to get bookshelves is to either get lucky in getting a book and disenchanting it, or you trade with the villager and you trade emeralds with it. And I was not about to mine that much, because you also have to either make like a mob grinder or like something so you can have enough XP, right, to be able to then enchant your tools. So it's like a never-ending cycle. There's always something more to do with it. So it's actually easier, believe it or not, to just use efficiency 2 and 3 shovels and keep wasting your diamonds on that, because it's literally faster than to grind all the way up for that, because that would take hours upon hours, and by then I could already be halfway done with this Oasis project. So, like, why even worry about it? Is what the thought process I was telling myself. I was on a lot of copium on this, and I spent a lot of time on this because of it. Because it probably would have ended up being faster if I would have actually gotten the tools all the way. But I also wanted this to stay a challenge, and I didn't want to do the challenge of getting all the bookshelves. So this is what I ended up doing, was just continually, slowly mining sand in Minecraft. And let me tell you, the audiobooks were the way to go, because I could just listen to that and then go back to mining, and then once I'm done, I can go back to the Oasis, because you also can't teleport. Like, you can teleport to spawn, but that's it. You can't teleport to the other people, you can't teleport to your base and things like that. It's a mainly semi-anarchy server, so you can't, like, do hacks and stuff like that. You'll get in trouble. But you're kind of allowed to do whatever you want on it, so, like, people can steal from you. You can blow up stuff. It's not really limited in that part of Minecraft. You can go kill people on there. You can do whatever you want. But, which is why I liked the server, right? Is because you can just do whatever you want. You're free to do it. I love servers like that. I don't like the servers where there's like 50, 100,000 rules. Everybody has their land claimed, so like you can't really build anywhere because everyone has the land claimed. And it's just really annoying to do anything. And unless you know the people in that server or become really big buddies with them, you're not going to be able to, like, do anything or get anything done. It's all pay to play, things like that. This server, it was nice and simple, and all you had to do was do what you want. Everybody has the same stuff. Bada bing, bada done. Right? And, yeah. So, I don't like super complicated servers with, like, that make it over the top. And I do like to have challenges or servers with mods or things like that, because I do like playing with other people. Because honestly, I think Minecraft's main thing today is playing with other people. And, like, I don't play Minecraft by myself. I play Minecraft with my friends online, on a server, right? Because there's... You get very done very quickly when you play by yourself. You don't think of new things to build. You don't come up with new ideas. You also don't get a gratification from other people for doing stuff for them. Or, you know, for them helping you out. Because, you know, I hate getting blaze rods in Minecraft and going to the nether and dealing with that. I don't mind mining in the nether, right? But I don't enjoy traveling in it, and I don't enjoy getting blaze rods because I always end up dying, right? Or I get close to death and I hate it. But there are people that don't mind that, and they'll be like, oh, I'll go get that for you. And I don't have to worry or hassle about that. And that's what I really enjoy, is that I don't gotta worry about that part. I can just do my favorite part, which is building. And, you know, if someone doesn't, like, who does PvP, doesn't like to grind to get gear, I'll help them grind and get gear. Because I also like to grind in Minecraft. I like making villager halls and, you know, mining and stuff like that. But my main favorite thing is to build. But I also enjoy grinding, which I think is why, like, these giant builds are such a thing right now in the building community of Minecraft. Because I think there is people that like to grind and that like to build, and they mix that. The thing that I don't like, though, is the whole, like, just automated picture stuff, or, like, I hate building in creative, because I feel like it's a completely different skill set from building in survival. And it also ties back into the, you know, you can't really spend time with friends if you're building in creative. That's kind of your own independent world of such. So it doesn't really give me any gratification or satisfy me that much as compared to when I'm building with friends. I get to goof around with them. I get to have fun. It's, you know, there's a camaraderie part of it too that comes with that. So, anyway, it takes forever to do this. I am constantly just... I'm going and going. And this is still, like, this is only the first one. Like, I do this, like, 8 times total, I'm pretty sure. And this is just the first time doing it. And this is how long it takes. Like, there's so much time put into builds and things. And people just don't seem to recognize it. And if they do see that time, they're like, oh, why isn't it more extravagant? Why aren't you doing more of this? Why are you making it so simplistic? And, well, first of all, I like the simplicity of stuff, is my thing. And then, secondly, well, that's just how long it took for me. I mean, I can't control time, you know? If I could, I'd love to just speed it up 500 times faster and just be bada bing, bada bum. No, that was easy. That only took an hour. But that's not how it works. And it's also, when doing a challenge, I really enjoy doing challenges and making it more difficult and making it have more time, because there's a, not power, but like accomplishment, maybe is the way to say it. I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but there's a sense of worth that I get from being able to make something cool with difficulty, if that makes any sense. Like, okay, so terraforming is, like, very different from, like, actually, like, building a house in Minecraft, right? And like it takes a lot more time, and like you normally see it when you're like building in creative, right? And I don't like building in creative because of you don't have to get the blocks, and you're also flying around. And flying around and not having to get the blocks, and you're just building and placing down things, and you also get to use commands which can affect how you make stuff, is a very different type of skill set than from building that in survival, where you place down each block individually. You have to go mine every single block that you get, and it's a lot more time, and there's a lot more things to do within it that are like minute details. Like, it's still the same thing. You're still building in Minecraft. But when you're building something and flying around, that is very different than you're on the ground. Like, you can't fly. You can't get into the right position to do something. No, you gotta build your blocks around it in order to get to that new position and then break those previous blocks. So it takes a lot of time. And it's a different way of building, basically, in Minecraft. And I know, like, maybe that doesn't really make sense to people, because it's like, well, it's the same thing, you're just doing it. But there is a difference to it. And honestly, I don't do terraforming a lot because of it, because it just takes forever to get the blocks and to place everything down, and it's not even to make a cool build, it's just so you can get to making that build and add on to more of it. So it's not something I typically do. And for this project, it was really different because I did have that, and then I had challenges on top of that to make it even more difficult with something that I'm already unfamiliar with. But that's also what I enjoy when I'm building in Minecraft, is it's fun to give yourself something new to do, something new to try out. And sometimes it looks absolutely horrible. Like, oh my god, why did I think to build this? This does not look good. And other times it looks really awesome. And that's what I really enjoy, is because no matter how skilled you are in Minecraft, you always have the ability, or even in anything, no matter how skilled you are, you always have the ability, if you try to rush something, or like just don't really care about it, or even when you're just doing something new, you always have the chance to just make something awful. Doesn't matter the skill set, doesn't matter, how long you've been doing it, right? Now, the chances of it happening are much lower because you have that skill set, because you have a base that you can build off on that other people don't. But it can still happen, and I think that's important to know and to recognize, because I have built stuff before where my friends were like, what are you doing, Cat? That looks horrible. What are you thinking? And there's other stuff that I've built that they're like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. And I think that's important to recognize, because not everything's going to be a hit. This is going to be a hit. This Oasis is going to be a hit, because I'm putting way too much time on just terraforming of it, right? But I think that's also part of terraforming, is putting a bunch of time into it. So when it comes to building in survival, to put that on top, I feel even more accomplished than I would normally if I built it in creative, because I spent that extra time, that extra, I don't know, movement to make it even more my own. And another thing that the reason why I like to build in survival is because you can get friends to come in and look at it in the middle of it and be like, this looks like shit, or oh my god, this looks awesome. And you either feel really accomplished, or you get a fire under your butt to start working and getting better at it. And that's what I really enjoy, is that, like, there's always a positive almost to it if you look at it right. It is also another way to get discouraged, though, which is fair. But are you gonna let that discouragement take over, or are you gonna actually go and do it and finish it? And that's the real question, because finishing something and getting it accomplished and knowing other people will like it because you put in that extra time, because you revised it, is very worthwhile. in my opinion. Because just doing something to do it because I decided to do it, and then being upset at other people because they don't enjoy it, is not fulfilling to me. And I feel like that happens a lot of the time nowadays with people, when it doesn't really need to happen. Because, I mean, what's the point if you don't want other people to see it? Go into your own world and build it yourself, and don't show it off, which I feel like is such a waste of time if you're not going to show it off to other people. Like, yeah, you're doing it for yourself, but don't you want other people to be able to see that, to be able to enjoy something? And while you're at it, why not get better with building from getting information from those other people? Why gatekeep it? Why control it when, you know, it's so much more worthwhile to go and show it to other people and have others enjoy it. And yeah, when you do that, it will get destroyed and people will mess with it. But, I mean, then you just get to build it again and do it better. Or you get to be able to fix it, and you get to mess with them because of it. And, you know, that's how you make friendships. That's how you get to do stuff. That's part of interaction, is having that. Because I like playing, personally, I don't like the, like I said earlier, I don't like the SMP, everybody has their stuff controlled, and you can't mess with it, because how are you going to be able to start an interaction, you know? And if it does get destroyed, well, are you going to build it again? Are you going to move to another area? Are you going to, you know, are you going to problem solve and do something about it? Or are you just going to be like, no, I'm done, and leave the server? I enjoy the problem solving and doing something new and thinking about it part of interaction with people. I love semi-anarchy servers because of it, because you never know what someone's gonna do. They could find you and kill you in 1 second, and man, is that scary. But on another hand, they could also help you out and give you stuff to help you build better because they've played on the server more. There's so many different ways for it to go down that, you know, I've seen personally also have had it happen to me personally, and I really enjoy that part of the Minecraft community. So there you go. I love the randomness, but also the engagement of it. Now, some people might consider that bullying because, oh my god, they killed you and destroyed your base. Well, I mean, they're allowed to. What's wrong with that, you know? And you know what you do then? You go and destroy their base, you know? There's always something that you can do if you have the imagination and creativity for it. And I think another issue is that people just don't have that much creativity to think of things to do. Like, for example, a lot of my friends betrayed my team on one of these anarchy servers, and what I decided to do was join that team, saying that, oh, everybody left, but in actuality, I went and destroyed their new base, like they did ours, and I got back at them, and then they got back at us. And what was funny was they enjoyed interacting with me so much, the other teammates, is that they kept me in their Discord, and we still hanged out and had fun. Because it started an interaction, and, you know, when you get to know people and get to have fun with them, because we were having fun battling each other and messing with each other, because that is fun to do. Because, you know, it's why people enjoy the SMP content, is because you create these ridiculous storylines that, like, span hours upon people's lives, and people enjoy watching that because it's so, there's so much that they did, right, that you're like, oh my god, that's crazy that you did that and that. And yeah, I really enjoy that stuff because it's so much fun to be a part of it, but it's also interesting to watch it and see what other people's perspectives on were it. So it kind of disheartens me when people get upset about that stuff when they die or when they, and it honestly just makes me want to help them out so they can get to see the fun in it again, because there is a fun in it. And I mean, when you overdo it and continually do the same thing over and over again, you will get bored with it, you will get tired of it, and it will become not fun for you, and you'll just get upset over and over again. But that's when you need a friend to either go and do something new, or to help them reinvigorate that fun with them. And instead of continually battling, you're building something together. You're grinding together to get items, to get their stuff back. And with that makes a strong friendship with that other person, that there is a respect that goes with it too. And I think just people don't recognize that when they're in the middle of it, when they do get that upset, and once they're done, they don't come back to it, they just leave it because they had a sour taste last time. When that's really sad, because you should be able to come back. You shouldn't just be done with it forever. I feel Minecraft to me is an infinitely playable game because it is only limited to your creativity and the ideas you can make. And I think it's just creativity comes down to it eventually. It's just people lose their creativity. They can't think of new things to do, and they start just copying others, and then it's not fun anymore because you're just copying others. You're not making something new. You're not coming up with something. It's why I like to build Pokemon, because nobody thinks to build a Pokemon in Minecraft. Those are two different games. Why would you want to do that? And when people do build Pokemon, it's always a 2D pixelated one. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to build a 3-dimensional Pokemon because it's Minecraft. It's a 3D game. And, it's really wacky and silly how they look and stuff, yeah. But people also get a kick out of it because they're like, wow, I would not have done that, they wouldn't think to do that. They would just go build a really cool mansion and then be done, I'm like, nah, let's go build an Oasis, put a Gyarados in the middle, and what else can we add to it, palm trees, right? And, as I think of more stuff I'm going to add on to this build, right now I'm still in the middle of placing down all the sand and stuff, of course, but that's the issue, is people don't continually think of something new to do. They're not constantly racking their brain. Once they have their one thing, they're done, and that's what they're doing. And that's not what the creative process is. It's adding on to, it's getting other people's opinions, it's learning other things, it's trying to improve, to get more, to learn, to develop your creation. And I think people just lose sight of that after a while, and they just start getting a disdain and a distaste in their mouth, and they're like, well, why am I not getting more? Why don't I have more of this? I want, they start feel like they deserve stuff when they don't, because they're no longer doing the work that is needed to be put in. And it's just kind of sad, in my opinion, when that happens, because first of all, there's always more work you can put in. And then secondly, it's, you're spending all this time, why not just finish it up and do the last of it, go the home run, do the home stretch, get the, I just don't think people recognize the importance of that, maybe, is what I'm getting at. Because the creative process is so important, especially in Minecraft. And, when people don't want to do that, when people are done, when they get upset, that stops, it doesn't happen. And it sucks when that happens, because there's so many more things you can do with the people you're spending time with what you're spending your time on. And so when you get the disdain, it's really sad, actually, because there's always another thing you could think of to make, to create, you know? And I don't know, I guess I have a lot of creativity in me, because I always have something new I want to do. But I do have my times where I don't play Minecraft for like 3 or 6 months, because I just don't want to. I'm bored of it. I don't enjoy it in that moment. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking a break because you just don't have anything in you. And I think the issue is those people don't feel like they can take a break, and they just want to keep going and going and going when that's not what they need to do. But when they take that break, they're like, I'm putting it down forever, which isn't the answer either. There's an in-between to it. Because I've played Minecraft for like 10 years, if not more. And I have had more than one break, some for a year, some for not, but I always come back to it, and I always enjoy it, and I always enjoy coming back to it. And when I do, I get invigorated with all these new ideas that I want to do and create and make, and it's so much fun. I enjoy it so much. And, you know, I don't think when people don't take that break and don't take the time that they need to be able to feel that again, it really messes it up, and it will make you not want to play Minecraft anymore, or any game for that matter. If you do that with any game. Another game I play is Stardew Valley, and I haven't played it recently, and you know, I'm gonna come back to it eventually one day, but you know, I also played it to where I maxed out everything and, you know, got everything to the point I started trying to figure out ways to get the community center in almost 1 year as fast as I could. And so it's fun to make challenges for yourself when you have the creativity. And Stardew Valley is also about that, because you got to know like what to make or what you want to do or how you want to progress. Kind of like Terraria almost. And you know, once you're tired of that, instead of trying to push yourself to make more and more because you feel like you have to, you need to just step back and take that break. And I think it's easier to notice that in those games because there is a progression to it. But in Minecraft, it's kind of never ending because it's just based off of your creativity on what you can make and what you want to make. So when you do that, right, and you don't give yourself that break that you need because you don't see that you need that break, because that's another part of it, is seeing that you need a break in Minecraft, because I think that's very difficult for some people. I don't think they can recognize when they need it because of that. By the way, I'm going in caves to get like dirt and stuff because I need dirt. I'm having dirt go around the circle so that's where like the farmland's going to be, so people can get food really easily. So that's why I'm going down in these caves I'm just getting dirt because all of it's coarse dirt and you can't hoe it to make farmland. So that's what I'm doing here. But anyway, back to what I was talking about earlier is, again, it just goes back to creativity and the importance of that, and really knowing when you need to take a break. And a lot of people don't realize when they need to take a break from Minecraft and almost any video game in general, because this happens a lot, but I'm mainly in the Minecraft community, so I don't notice it as much with other people in other communities, I guess. And like, there's so many things. You can play modded, you can play non-modded, you have challenges with plugins. There's a lot of options and ways to go about it in Minecraft. So it's very easy to just be like, oh, I'm just gonna play this and I'll get reinvigorated, when that's not really true. It's what happens with me in like anime, honestly, is when I watch too much anime, I just don't want to watch it for 3 months, 6 months. Because I get bored of it. I see the patterns and it's not fun anymore. I can't really enjoy like the stuff, you know, and or I'm just tired of reading subtitles, you know. there's a balance to it. And when you overdo something, you'll get burnt out and you don't want to do it anymore. And the issue is when people get burnt out nowadays, I feel like they just never come back to it because they push through it and don't give themselves an actual break from it. Like, okay, I also draw, right? In art, for example. And, you know, sometimes you get art block and you can't think of anything to draw or do. And that's fine. If you try to push yourself through that art block, though, sometimes it works and sometimes you get reinvigorated and you want to draw more stuff and do more things. Other times you just burn yourself out more and it makes you want to do even less than you were doing before. And that's just worse. That doesn't make it better. And that's why you got to give yourself the time to reinvigorate yourself, to get that motivation, to get the motivation, get the creativity back to creativity. It's all full circle somehow, and we're doing a circle. But yeah, on the server I gotta fish like all the time to get like food and stuff, because I'm like constantly really low on like fish. And eventually I'll have potatoes every now and then, but I kind of gotta start the farm first, and we're kind of in the middle of that. I'm just still getting dirt, but yeah, I gotta stop and just fish every now and then. I actually really love fishing in games. Like I mentioned Stardew Valley earlier, I have that whole entire fishing catalog memorized in my head, except for the newer ones from the newer updates. Like, I know where every single fish is. You tell me where a salmon is, I know where to go fish it. So it's stuff like that. I don't have a whole fishing like thing memorized in Minecraft on like all the percents and stuff, but I really enjoy like fishing in Minecraft and also just fishing in other games. It's really calming to me. I know a lot of people like hate fishing in video games because it's like such a just last minute added on plugin, and I honestly don't mind it. And what a lot of people forget is that like fishing can be really useful in Minecraft and stuff like that. Speaking of fishing, I'm building a dock now so I can fish, because I like to have a little scenery with me when I fish and just be like, well, I'm fishing, might as well add a dock. It's a giant pond, might as well have a dock. I'm building this, to have like decoration and stuff, and when I'm gonna fish, let's have a dock. So this one that I built though was kind of annoying because I wanted campfires with it, and part of my issue is I kept placing the campfire down wrong, and I didn't have anything silk touch, so it made it really difficult to build it, because randomly whenever I'm like chopping down all these trees and stuff and getting wood, I'll make some campfires, and then I'll place one down wrong, and then I'll break it and then build another one, and it was a bit of a hassle to do that, but I think after this project I've learned how to place down campfires. I hope. Probably not. I've made mistakes on other projects, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know. I can never figure out campfires. So if anybody has any tips on how to place down campfires in Minecraft, I'd greatly appreciate it. But yeah, I just love fishing. It's calming, you can have your brain wander while you're doing it. It's kind of mindless, kind of like the building stuff, but you don't gotta place down as many things. You're doing even less stuff. And you can get like really good things like mending books from it, and so it's really useful, especially on like servers like this, because they didn't even think to do fishing and to block it and to stop it. They didn't even think about that. In fact, they're trying to change that, and I'm a little sad because it's so overpowered, because you can just get like mending and stuff. It takes forever though, so it's not super overpowered. It still takes forever, and they're just like, and I'm like, dude, nobody's gonna eat any food. They'll be eating rotten flesh if you don't have this. And they're like, I think what they decided is they're gonna change like the fishing pool of it, and they're gonna get a plugin to do that, so that like when you're fishing you can only get like fish or something like that, or they're making it to where you don't get fish. I don't remember, but I think they were gonna change that. Don't trust me on that. I don't always remember what they're doing in their updates and stuff, because they're still updating the server. They're still working on the server to this day. If you want to join and play, my Oasis is still here, I think. But yeah, what was really annoying is not having shulkers, and so I have to get sand and then jump all the way back, and I think I'm trying to get like stuff or something. Yeah. So it was really annoying to get the sand, walk all the way back, place it down, and then get more sand, because I can't just fill up my whole entire inventory, and I like to have like some stuff in my inventory, so I didn't just empty it out completely, you know, when I left to get stuff each time. I would just kind of empty it out, so then I would make it more difficult for myself when getting sand. I was not the smartest with this, I'm gonna be honest, but at the same time, if I had shulkers, this thing would go so much easier. But I mean, where's the fun in that? You gotta give yourself a challenge. So don't mind me just taking down the desert one by one, you know. Right now I'm starting the farm because I got carrots and potatoes, so I gotta start that rigmarole, because it's gonna be a lot of carrots and potatoes and farming randomly throughout this, because there's a lot of things to farm and do and have, and it's great. Everything is wonderful. No issues occurred in the farming of this video. No plants were dead. I promise. I shouldn't promise that. Yeah, this is me making shovels and stuff, and you know, just getting fish randomly, so I can get XP of all things. But yeah, it's just, you know, terraforming, placing more down sand and stuff, because that's what I did for hours, and that's the thing with terraforming. Because if you had commands, you could have just done, you know, a radius of 100 and replace coarse dirt with sand, and it would have been done in 5 seconds. But I'm playing in survival because that's what I enjoy more, and these are the choices I have made. Sometimes I regret doing it when I start to get burnt out and tired, and I feel like I'm going insane by doing the same thing over and over. But I also know that I'm gonna really enjoy myself for doing it, and like feel really proud of myself for finishing it when I do, which is why I grind it and finish it and do it all. And I know some people like really hate that, and that's okay. If you don't enjoy doing that, you don't have to do it. But also, if you want to be able to create things like this that are really like mega bases, basically, that are really big, you got to be willing to put the work into it. And I feel like people just don't put the work into things, or they don't recognize how much work is put into things and making the stuff, because they just they didn't think about that. They didn't recognize how much is actually put into making things. It's like with editing videos, with drawing, you know, building in Minecraft, learning PvP in Minecraft. Oh my goodness, I will never be good at that, I swear. I have tried more than once. I have gotten more than one friend to try and help me, and it has just never gone well. Don't mind me trying to kill this rabbit. This is a testament to my PvP skills. That is me trying to kill those 2 rabbits. Please don't judge me for it, okay? I have issues when it comes to PvP. And it's not that I can't learn. I just don't enjoy learning it, so I don't put the time into it. And when I do try to put the time into it, I get 15 minutes in and I'm like, this is boring. I'm gonna go build. I'm gonna go make this Oasis, you know? That's what I come up with. Because that's what I enjoy, but other people really enjoy, like, battling each other. And that's why you have so many PvP servers. And I feel like the PvP part of Minecraft has gotten really popular recently, which I say good for them, because, you know, I don't think that's always been very popular, and I feel like that's you know, it's fair. But I also know that people are getting really bored of it because it is kind of just the same thing over and over. You know, that's different when it comes to building. I think building has never been extremely popular, but everybody respects it in a way, I think. From my viewpoint, I might be entirely wrong, who knows. But I feel like everybody's respected Minecraft and their builders because it comes from creativity, of all things. And it's hard to do. It's hard to continually be creative over and over again. And there's also, like, people build, like, more complex or more simplistic. And because I do more of the simplistic, I'm probably not seen as a skilled builder as much because of that. And I could probably learn some more tips and tricks and things, but I'm not really searching for that right now. I probably will eventually look into building more complicated stuff, but until then, I just kind of enjoy what I'm doing. I mean, for a while, I got into building castles. Another time, I got into building a cherry village when the update came out. And it just depends. I mean, you know, not everything has to be one way or the other. Not everyone needs to be the same. And I think there's a push for everything to be the same when there really shouldn't be. Because the whole thing with Minecraft is being creative and being different and not being the same, if that makes any sense. Like, I have never seen Minecraft as, oh, everyone should do the same thing all the time. That's, like, the opposite of Minecraft, in my opinion, is that. Because, like, it should be about creativity. It should be about people coming together and making what they want to make, you know? It shouldn't be as, like, black and white. I feel like it needs to be, you know, more in the middle, you know? Gray. I don't know. Blue and red, purple. Easy. Colors. Mixing. Yep. But, yeah. I don't know. It's just... It shouldn't be as difficult for this stuff, I feel like. I feel like people make it a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Or exaggerate stuff when it really shouldn't be that, like, difficult, if that makes any sense. Like, it's a block game that people enjoy. There's not much more to it. Let's just have fun. And, you know, when you have people that play on it 24/7, and, like, that's their whole entire life, or their free time, it gets really frustrating, because they start putting on their own rules and impending it on other people, when it's like, no, that's for yourself, not for me. You go do you, I'll be doing me. And I think people just don't like that. They can't handle it for some reason. Like, you know, just by knowing someone else is doing something different, it bothers them when it really shouldn't. And I think that goes for a lot of things, not just Minecraft. But, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, you can't... I guess you could stop that person, but how's that gonna benefit anyone in this situation? You know? That just makes you seem controlling. And it's not really nice or cool. So, anyway, Minecraft is cool. I place a lot of blocks down, and it takes a lot of time. So, yeah. I spent a lot of time on the server to the point where I had, like, the most hours on the server for a while. I don't hold that position anymore. I actually think the X guy does, who is, like, one of the server owners. But he doesn't... He has it because he'll be doing server stuff. not because he's playing on the server. And, you know, I was proud to hold that position for a while. I'm pretty sure someone took me over, though, recently. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. But I just really love the challenge of this server with the apocalyptic, like, view on it. I feel like they could have made their world a bit better, though. And also they needed a few more trades to make it, like, match and stuff, because they had people with netherite armor when they did have the trade, and then they removed the trade, but they let the other people keep their netherite armor, for the, because this server had been up for years, and it wasn't the trade, it was because the server updated, and, with the armor upgrade template needed to upgrade to netherite, like, people couldn't get netherite, so netherite became, like, a special thing that you couldn't get. Oh, by the way, I had my friend Corwick come and help me because he was in VC and he's like, yo, CatAtMat, wanna, do stuff. And I'm like, hey, buddy, come help me build this giant, massive thing and place down sand. And he's, oh, okay. And he's like, oh my goodness, this is so large. What are you doing? And I'm like, schemes. And he's like, okay. So he helped me place down sand for a while. And it, I feel like when you have someone that just comes and helps you randomly, it's so nice and refreshing, and it, like, makes me want to, it reinvigorates me. It makes me want to build more. It makes me want to do more stuff. So I was so happy when he came and helped me, like, build this, because I'm like, oh my goodness, I have a friend that can help me on this server. The server's not dead, because, like, I'm, like, the only person on the server. Every now and then there'll be another person, but it's a really small community on the server, so not a lot of people play on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's okay to have a small community. People might consider that dead, but I mean, so, if you can find it and enjoy it, what's the issue with that, But anyway, the server owners really want to have it hopefully grow out and become bigger, and I don't blame them. They're working on a new map, they're having new updates and stuff, so I hope it becomes bigger for them, because it's so much. I love the challenge on the server. I can't tell you guys enough. I love the challenge and, like, how, like, the thought of it, and I just think it's so interesting. And people will be like, oh, it's just Fallout. And it's like, yeah, but who cares? It makes Minecraft so much more challenging. You can barely live. You have to constantly get food. You can't get all your stuff enchanted. For people who love to grind, it gives them so much more. They have to put so much more effort into it. And that's what I love. Because with mods, right, it'll either make it a lot easier, or it'll give you a little bit more difficulty. With these pre-made servers, they've already thought it out. They've already, like, made it into what they want it to be or how they want it to work. So why not just do that and play on those servers? Like, and these are all just made with, like, plugins and stuff. It's not modded either, which is, I love that, because I feel like there's been a huge reliance on mods to, like, push stuff and have things happen when there doesn't need to be, Just normal Minecraft is enough on its own, honestly. I feel like normal Minecraft is modded upon itself, And I know people get really upset at me about that, but I mean, what else is there? There's only so many mods you can have until you're just having mod upon mod upon mod, and so many mods have to have another mod that consists with another mod. It's really annoying to make a mod pack unless you just want one mod or two. And I feel like, there's nothing wrong with just playing the base vanilla game. And I feel like with how big the modding community is, I feel like it's kind of taken away from that. And, not to say what Mojang has done has, like, been the best, because it hasn't, what they've added to the game has had its own troubles with stuff, But, I mean, what are you gonna do? Play some older versions? Nothing wrong with that, I think it's just all based off of how you view it, how you think of it, It's, nothing's perfect, so, but I really appreciated Corwick helping me out with this build. He was really helpful and nice, so I think there's a lot of merit when you play with friends and they help you with a build, because they don't have to be there. They don't have to help you. They can just be like, nah, bye. And you're just like, no, and be sad and alone. But like when you get a friend to help you with your build, right, they get a sense of invigoration because they get to help you with building, even though they're not a builder themselves, maybe. Or if they are a builder, you know, I love helping people with builds and helping them like do stuff to the point where I kind of help a little too much and they're like, oh my goodness, please stop. Thank you for your help. I need to do it myself now, because I'll get all of their extra things done that they wanted, and then I'll be like, you need me to collect items? And they're like, no, please, I got it from here, thank you so much. And I totally understand that, because if somebody helps me too much, I'll be like, okay, thank you, I need to do it myself now so I can make sure it comes out the way I wanted it to. So I totally understand why people do that, but I'm still gonna be me, and I'm still gonna do that no matter what, because I really enjoy helping, and I really enjoy other people helping me, you know. Help others how you want, treat others with how you want to be treated, you know, that little saying. It's just true. It's true though, you know. So I don't regret the actions I've made, but I know I've probably freaked out a few people because of it. Because they'll just, like, log on the next day and, like, all of the stuff that I asked them to do has been done. And they're like, what? When? How? It's like that, you know that meme where it's like, bro, this person plays too much on this server. And it's like, break down this forest. And there's, like, 64 chests full of wood, right? So I will do that. Although sometimes when I don't have the time, I'll just like, sorry man, I can't, and not. Alright, so I've started on Gyarados now, because I've decided I wanted a Gyarados, and I'm having the Gyarados, because that's what I wanted. So I'm getting a Gyarados on this area right now, because I like to build Pokemon in Minecraft, and those were the colors that I had. So we're building a Gyarados. And when I do a Gyarados, I have this, there is this company that makes little tiny Lego Pokemon, right? And it's like miniature Legos that are like a centimeter by a centimeter, like little baby Legos. They're so annoying to put together. It was called LOZ. I think it's now called Nanoblock. And I go search up what they've built for Pokemon, and some Pokemon don't work because I've done custom like triangle Legos and stuff on it, but most of their Pokemon are just like your normal block Legos, and I take that and I put it as a pixel and I build it in Minecraft, and I look at the picture and then I build it. I have actually like quite a lot of them collected, so like most of them I just look in real life and at it. I didn't have the Gyarados yet. I didn't even know this dude existed. So I'm probably gonna buy the Gyarados figure though the second I can. So don't worry. I'm not stealing from them. I am stealing from them, but I'm not. I buy their merch. They're not merch. They're collectives, whatever you want to call it. But so what I do is I look at it and I count it, just one pixel equals, or one Lego, I guess, not pixel, one Lego equals one block in Minecraft, and I build based off of that just by looking at it. And some of the issue is you don't get to see the entire build with it, right? So you just kind of gotta go with it. And with that, sometimes I do like build off by one block, but other times, you know, it's fine, there's no issue. And that's part of building those. You gotta go with it, and if you build it wrong, you build it wrong, and you go with it. Right now, I'm trying to do the side of the Gyarados. It does, like, curve in it, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just, like, doing, like, the belly, the stomach of it, the inside, you know, because the inside of Gyarados is different color than blue. And I'm building from that. And you can either try and copy it yourself, or you can just go off of what I'm building here, which will probably be easier, too, than looking at a picture over and over again. I'll put up the picture here, by the way, so you can see it. But I'm literally just zooming in and out, looking at it, different parts on photos, and just one block at a time. trying to count it correctly. And I really enjoy doing this. So, it's because it's a 3D Pokemon. Who doesn't want a 3D Pokemon? Honestly, tell me who doesn't? And like the other Pokemon models are just so complex. Like you can't. It's not simplistic. And I guess you could go off of Cobblemon, right? Which is like the new Pokemon mod right now, because Pixelmon is bad now. And like I like Cobblemon. I've played on Cobblemon. But I feel like the models, depending on it, are a little too complex to build. Like, instead of, like, 30 to 20 blocks tall, it's gonna be, like, 50 to 60. And maybe one day I'll probably, like, build the Cobblemon, like, things. But for right now, this is what works for me, and this is what I do. So, I mean, there you go, I guess. I like how it ended up. So, I mean... There you go. I like these. So I'm building the mouth right now. By the way, this is the mouth of the Gyarados. That's why it's the Netherrack red, because it's his like tongue mouth thing. I'm going back down though, cleaning up stuff, and then it's just a lot of constantly looking back and forth and doing what you think you can understand. So I'll switch between like the stomach and the mouth, or like doing the sides and stuff. So. The reason why I did the stomach first is that's what I could see the most easily. So if I can do that, and then based off of the other builds, like, copy and mesh it the way I need to, that's what I typically do. Because I can't see the back of it, actually, in this photo that I have, because I could only find one photo, right? And I just do the best I can to copy it and follow it, is what I essentially do. And it takes a while. So does any build, though. I mean... There are a lot of people that, like, copy other builds one for one, right? I don't always do that. What I like to do is I like to find a build, right? But I like to find it for the theme of it, not to build exactly the same thing. So, like, I'll find it as a reference, basically. Now, with the Gyarados, I'm kind of just trying to copy it as much as I can. As perfectly as I can. I'm gonna be honest. And I might be wrong for that, but that's what I do, because no one else thinks to do it. I have never seen a Pokemon build the way I do Pokemon builds. So please show me your builds if you have. I've only found one other person who's ever done it before, and nobody knows about them. Well, neither do they know about me, but nobody knows. So I'm putting this into the world. Build Pokemon, please. Prove me wrong. Build good 3D Pokemon, because there's a lot of 3D Pokemon that don't look good. So prove me wrong, internet, please, because I love Pokemon and I love building Pokemon. I'm doing like, you know, like the ear flap of the Gyarados, ear flap. That's the best way I can describe it, is the ear flap. That's what I'm doing, I think, or I'm doing the face. Yeah, I'm doing the face. I'm doing the face of it. I started the ear flap. Now I'm doing the face and the eyes. It's hard to interpret myself sometimes. My brain wanders. I just go from one thing to the other and try and, like, copy it, like what I'm saying. It's just whatever I feel like I can manage and understand is what I do, basically. So, now I'm just, like, looking around, deciding how to make it even. Because what I do is I'll build one part, and then I'll start building the other side. Because if I just build one side of the face, and then build the other side of the face, I'm almost certain to get it wrong, because I'm not going to copy it the exact same way that I did the other side, because I'm looking at the other side to build it when I could just build one part of the face and then go back and build the other side, and it's not an issue because I already have the number of blocks needed and how to place them down. So, like, this is what I meant by the ear flap earlier, by the way. And so what I do is I'll build that, and then I'll go on the other side and build that same thing, because if I don't, and I continue building more, I'm going to forget how I did it previously. And now I do have to flip it, so sometimes I do make mistakes because I am flipping it, but I don't recognize that I'm flipping it, and then I'll mess it up. And honestly, when I do build, a trick that I do is the highest number I go up to is 4. So, and here's why. Because if I'm, like, building something really big, and I do more than 4, I'll forget the sequence of numbers that I'm doing it on. And I'll get confused on what I'm doing. Rather than if I was just building it on, like, 2, 3s, and 1s. Where I just, like, go up 1, go up 2, go up 3, go up 4, go up 5. Because at that point, I'll have to start remembering more, where I can start forgetting more at the same time, and it'll make it more complicated. Which, while yes, it makes it more complicated, at the same time, it also makes it more confusing and easier for mess-ups to happen and for it to look wonky. That's also why I'll go and look out and stop building and then have to climb back up to make sure that it is even. Because even though you're, like, right on top of it, that doesn't mean that you made it off for some reason. So, there you go. And I also had to go get more supplies because I ran out of blocks. So I had to run and go get sand and make more things because I miscount things a lot. So, there you go. I think I have more and then I don't, and then I'm sad, and then I have to go get more. It's a process, especially when you build something new for the first time, because this is my first time ever building a Gyarados, so I don't know the exact amount of blocks I need to get. If I'm building a Pikachu, I know exactly how many blocks to get, because I've built that thing like 12 times in my lifetime. I've built it way too much. And it's like 4 stacks of yellow, 8 red, 2 black, 2 white, and like 2 stacks of brown. There you go. That's the formula for a Pikachu if you ever need to know that, you know? I'm going into the caves right now to get gravel because that's what I need to collect, and I have difficulties finding it and difficulties fighting monsters, but I found gravel eventually and I collected it. But it's a process, and it's a process that you do and that you learn from and that you just don't give up on, because I mean, who wants a half-made Gyarados? That's just lame. Like, nobody wants that. Anyway, but I do spend like a majority of my time sometimes collecting materials. Not so much with the Pokemon, because you can get like concrete really quickly. I normally use concrete for my builds with Pokemon just because it looks nice to me. I also, when I take breaks, sometimes I'll farm my farm more, because the farm still needs to be done. You gotta expand the potatoes and carrots, because once they're grown, you gotta, you know, take them and replant them, because that's like another part of this build is the farm within itself. So just taking a quick break to go do that right now, because, you know, that always needs done. I know, like, some people don't like farms, I feel like, in Minecraft. I love farms, and I love the aesthetic of them too, because, like, it's a nice background that you can have just to add a little more touch to something, even though you don't have to have it. It's the same with, like, adding flowers to a house. They don't have to be there, they're not required, but I like to have them as a nice little addition to them. That's just me personally, though. And when you do make big ones, they do take a long time, and there is quite a bit of patience needed for these types of giant farms, but because you could just, you know, go trade with a villager and you're done for life, so why even bother with it? And it's like, well, that's true, but I mean, what about, you know, spending the time to get your own farm and stuff? You know, in the older versions, that wasn't even an option to have villagers, so that's just me. And, you know, when you play servers like this where there aren't villagers as an option, you get to actually have a reason for it rather than just, oh, because I want to. So, there you go. But this is the most efficient method that I've found for concrete, is just to place it all down in a 2x2 and mine it with a pickaxe in the water instead of placing it in the actual water, because that'll break your water and stuff. So it's better to have a tower. If you have a fully maxed out pickaxe, it will probably lag out the server though, so be careful with that, to not lag out the server, or do if that's your choice. It also depends on the server, though. Most of them handle it pretty fine. I mean, if they can't handle this, then they probably can't handle dolphin travel and other things like that, which is a little sad. But, I mean, besides that, you know, is what it is. Back to the Gyarados, though. I'm gonna finish building the belly of it. The belly of the beast, if you may say. Perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I'm always afraid to, like, run out of wood on the server, because you kind of need wood to make things, and it takes a while to go get wood, and you also don't want to run out of food at the same time. So, it's a journey on the server, I'm gonna be honest. But now I'm working on the side of the Gyarados where it kind of curves over and it has its tail come up, because it does have the tail and everything. Sometimes I am off a block though, and it is annoying, but because I'm underwater when I'm building it. Because I like that this Gyarados is partially underwater, because, you know, to me, Gyarados is based off of the Loch Ness Sea Monster, which is another reason why I chose it as my choice of Pokemon. Because because I guess I could have chosen, like, Pokemon like Poliwhirl, or like, Sobble, Pokemon like that. But, I like the thought that my little lake pond has a Loch Ness Sea Monster. That is fitting to me for some reason, and I'm going to keep it that way, because that's what I've decided. And no takebacks. It's too late now. We're doing it. It's happening. Don't worry about it. So, there you go. But I'm often off by a little bit, so if you're trying to copy me, I apologize, because I'm doing this for the first time, so I don't have it done perfectly. But also, that's what every builder does. That no builder can build something perfectly and not have to break at least one block. I do not believe you are not a human then if you don't have that issue. And if you are, good for you. You have a skill that I do not, and that's really cool. But yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't remember if I had to redo this because it was too low, but yeah. Here's the fin that's being built right now, though, so that's cool. It goes up by 4. I'm happy for the, you know, because block reach used to only be like 3, and now you can do like 4 with placing it, so that's cool to me. Makes life easier to deal with, so there you go. I'm just, yeah, you gotta place blocks, make sure it's in the right area, and then copy it on the other area, because you can't forget. I don't want to forget what it was supposed to be at. So, and there you go, that's the Gyarados tail fin. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, no issues, easy. Now you gotta build the whole entire inside of the Gyarados. Building takes a while. I don't know if you've noticed this yet. I don't think if I've said it a lot enough yet. Building takes a while. If anything you get from this, building takes a long time. But it's worth it because you get something really cool built because of it. So, there you go. Yee. Just placing one block at a time, building up the back of the Gyarados now. Side, back, yep. Something like that. I think I'm having issues because I'm off a block, so I gotta kind of work with it. Yeah, I got off a block over here, I think, when I was building it, so I was starting to have issues with it. That happens a lot. Sometimes you just get off a block and you just gotta either break it or deal with it, and you just kind of have it be off a little, which is okay. It's okay to have stuff be off a little. Nothing needs to be perfectly symmetrical. I feel like there's a focus on, like, having things be perfectly symmetrical when there doesn't need to be. Like, it's okay to have things be off symmetrically. It's not a needed thing that it has to happen. I feel like that's also applicable in, like, art, not just in Minecraft builds and stuff. It's applicable in art and other things. Because, like, yeah, it's satisfying, but it creates a sense of automation that doesn't have to be there. Because it shouldn't be there. I'm starting to copy the other side, and this is when I talk, and this is, like, why I talk about not doing one side at this totally and then doing the other side, because it makes it so much more difficult to do the other side. Another issue is I couldn't see this other side, so I was kind of just guessing on what to do. I'm gonna be honest. I was just like, oh, I hope this works. Nope, da doop da doop da doo. So that's what I do. But I also notice mistakes that I make on the other side when I do this, which is important. So there's, you know, there's a thing in each one. Stuff happens each time that amounts to another thing in another. And this is where I'm talking about where I'm off by one block. Because I should have gone forward another block, but I didn't. And I had to pay the consequences for that. Other times when you're doing stuff though and like putting it together, it's really easy to just bada bing, bada boom, up 1 over 2. So sometimes it's really simple and sometimes it's not. And it really just kind of depends on what's happening with the build. So right here again, I'm having issues with it being off a block. Because it happens. So, there you go. But we're almost done. We're getting there. We got the part where it swooshes down, and then now just checking up everything, making sure it's all even. Everything has like the correct spots on each side, because he does have like little spot dot things. And then we gotta start the perilous pack that I cannot see at all, and I have to guess completely. This is where building comes in handy, knowing how to build. Because if you don't know how to do it, it's probably gonna look a lot more wonkier than it did mine. Maybe it won't, who knows. But I mess with these white tail fins a lot, by the way, as I'm building the back. Because I just couldn't decide for the life of me what to do. I'm like, does it go this way? Does it go that way? I'm not sure. But then, of course, I did run out of light blue concrete again. So now I gotta go back and collect it all. But I think it's coming together. It's coming together. You know, slowly but surely. You know, all of it takes time, and it comes together eventually. If you keep continually doing it, though. You can't just stop at the beginning and call it a day. So, there you go. I'm gonna try and see if this stack is gonna last enough. It probably won't. It doesn't. But, you know, it's better than nothing. Lazy conquers all. Surely. No, it doesn't. It doesn't conquer anything. It just makes you have to do more work in the end. Which, it happens. You gotta learn by mistakes. I feel like people have the need to, like, do it perfectly the first time and not learn by mistakes. When you do mistakes, that's when you learn the most. That's when you're able to grow the most, by learning from your mistakes. Because if you don't learn from your mistakes, then you don't grow at all. So, I feel it's very important to make mistakes and fix them as you go. And then in the end, if it's good or bad, and then you fix that for next time, and you keep it in mind on how you did your process and how to affect your process, or change how you do something here or there within the process. It's very applicable to more than one thing, I feel like. It's not just one thing or the other. So, back to Gyarados, though, and building the back of Gyarados. And getting that finished and done and cleaned up and nice and well made. You know, all the fun things within building in Minecraft and in general making things. So, I'm just trying to make it even, have it match with each other. you know, trying to follow the head of it and how thick the head is compared to the neck, and also just make it not look weird and wonky and bad, you know. That's kind of important, maybe, who knows. But now I'm just trying to figure out how to, I'm making it even, first of all, but I'm also trying to figure out how to do the head and how it connects and works and is made. And I'm gonna run out of concrete. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I'm trying, but it's not going to. And just attempting to look at the Gyarados to see if there's anything to help from my picture, which there really isn't. But I'm trying and failing. It's okay. It's okay to fail. That's what I'm telling myself. But it's difficult when you're building, because you gotta, there's a lot of trial and error with it. There's a lot of adjustments you make, because one block can really change how it looks, in my opinion. Especially with how I build. So it's very important to keep your eye on that and make sure it's done correctly. I'm starting on the little, not eyebrow, the long things that go out in different directions. I don't know what they're called. There's probably a name for them. I have no idea. But it's very important when you build a Gyarados to have them. I consider them eyebrows almost, because they're kind of what face and make the Gyarados look angry to me. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but that's how it seems to me to be. So there you go. It's kind of difficult to follow it on the picture. As you saw, I had some difficulty figuring it out. But I got there. I got it. I figured it out. I got this. You know? It works out. We win these. So. That's... It is what it is. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Yep. Just double checking, making sure it's happening, and bada bing bada boom. That's the top of the face. Now to do the backside. That is, it needs work. We'll just say that it needs work. But also checking if there's any holes anywhere, to just, you know, not have it look wonky. And, you know, the Gyarados shouldn't have a hole in his head. That doesn't seem correct. Just putting that out there. Just putting that little thing out there as like a thought, maybe, you know. But some of this is really just placing it and hoping it works, and if it doesn't work, then you place a block differently and hope that works. So that's kind of all there is to it. Oh yeah, and also got to do the back fin, which worked out well. So I was good with that one. But, yep. You also have these back here. And I'm almost out of blocks, so I'm going to have to get some soon. But I'm also looking down here to see if I can get some more blocks, so that it will look better. I end up taking these out by another block to have them point out more, because they should point out more. So that's my thought in it. That's my process. Alright, because I'm like, alright, I gotta go back down here and fix these because they're wonky now that I remember they exist. And I'm like, oh, I should probably add another thing here. What can I get? I need more blue concrete. What can I break to get more blue concrete? That's how it works. Just one thing to another, adding on to each other over and over again. That is the process. So there you go. And also hopefully not dying as I keep falling down. That's another thing. It's very important. But, you know, also just being consistent in what I decide needs to be done and stuff. So it's, well, more like the inconsistency of it. But I feel like it's really shaping together now. It's the actual face of a Gyarados, fully finished. And I just got to get a few more blocks and we're done with it. And then we got to move on to the bomb trees, which are going to take a while. And I'm going to have to get a lot of wood for it, and it's going to be annoying. But hey, it's going to get done, and it's going to happen, and things are moving forward. But I got to go get more materials for that to happen, which is sad, but true. I do try to just get some more here and see if there's any extra I can obtain and clean it up. There really isn't, though. Sadly. I get like one or two. And I mean, it's important because I do have them hollow. I don't have them as like, just a thing. They're not hollow at all. So there you go. I guess. I'm just looking around, seeing if I need to change anything. I don't, so I placed down the last of it. Said that's how it's supposed to go, and then I have to now change it again. It's so much of it is just trial and error and like seeing how it's done and if it's gonna work. It's none of this is like set in stone, has to happen this way, has to happen that way. It's very much it's a process, and it's a creative process, and there's no specific way to have it done. So that's what really happens when you build is, what looks good, what doesn't look good, and making sure it looks like your finished project. Now, I don't know when I got this, but I got the concrete at some point. I don't know where, when, but I did. I lost the footage, honestly. But I got concrete, and I'm mining it again to finish up the last of the Gyarados, and to have them finished and done, so that we can move on to more things, to build more, because this build isn't done yet. No, there is much more to happen. We might have a Loch Ness Monster, but we have no palm trees, and that is much of what we should add and finish and continue to make and, do things with. Very important indeed. So, it is time to finish thine Gyarados and continue thine work with the Oasis build. But, first I gotta, actually finish this for real. That's kind of is a little bit important, So, I actually really enjoyed building this and getting it finished. And I thought it turned out really well, especially with the challenges that I had with it. So, there you go. This is a Gyarados that I've built. So, I keep debating on what to do with the head. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, alright, how do I make this look normal and not weird and randomly made by me? So, I'm really happy with how it worked out and how it got finished. So, that's how I built a Gyarados. Trial, error, looking at an image. Now, I went to my own world to start building this palm tree because I could find no palm trees that I liked or looked good. And I would start to build one palm tree and then I would get frustrated with it because it just didn't make any sense at all to me. So I kept getting really frustrated by it. Another issue is I couldn't find any green. And I thought I had to go get slime or copper. And then after a while, I realized that I was being ridiculous. And that I actually had a way to get green, which was called bamboo. And I didn't recognize that you could trade wood for bamboo planks on the server. So I had quite the doozy of figuring that one out after a while, because I'm like, no, I'm not going to be able to do the palm trees. I just didn't look at the villager trader enough to see that I could use bamboo planks as it. So, there you go. This is me trying to mess with the trunk of the tree. Because I'm trying to debate if, like, this should be, like, a normal tree, or if it should be, like, a thicker tree. I kind of did a blend of it here, and it doesn't look good. And because it doesn't. But I decided to use it to try and test out different ways to do the, what's it called? Palm tree. And honestly, when you look at the palm trees off of just Google and stuff, none of them look good, and none of them look like palm trees. They all look bad. They don't look okay. They're like, what, is this supposed to be a palm tree? I'm not sure it is. This doesn't look like a palm tree. And I would, like, try to follow the image to try and copy it, but I'm like, man, it doesn't look like enough of a palm tree to even try and continue doing this. Like, it's so weird and funky. And this is me trying to copy it, right? Because I also know that I'm going to be using wood and not leaves. It's not going to be transparent. And it just doesn't look good. It looks weird. And it doesn't make sense on how they built it. There's not a pattern to it that I can tell. So it just kind of looks wonky. And, like, you see what they're trying to go for, but it's so detailed within it that I'm like, I can't do this detail, right? I'm like, how am I going to build this in survival as I'm flying around looking at this? And I don't even like how this palm tree looks. So it's like, what are we doing here, guys? This does not look good. It is not working. And I'm really trying to have it work. And I'm really trying to get the palm tree to look cool and good, and it's not working, right? I mean, some people might look at this and be like, yeah, that's a palm tree. I look at it and I'm like, nah, this is not a palm tree. This is a disgrace to palm trees is what this is. So then I found another palm tree that was a much shorter palm tree that I was trying to understand and follow. It was a little too short though, a little. And it wasn't even that much more simpler. It was, like, just as complicated. And it made just as less sense as, like, the others did to me. And that it's like, that doesn't work. That won't work. So I go and look at another palm tree. I had many issues trying to figure out palm trees on this. I thought people would have figured out how to build palm trees really well by now. And apparently, I am extremely wrong. People don't know how to build palm trees. They just know how to make something that might look like a palm tree. And, like, the only people that do are, like, extremely well, like, builders that, like, build giant palm trees or, like, something completely different. And it's like, is that a palm tree? Eventually, I just start doing my own thing and, like, experimenting myself. And this is what I start landing on, is like something like this, where I kind of adjust the leaves however I want to, and I make my own pattern. And I don't do exactly what, like, this is done, right? But I at least get a game plan for what I want to do with this type of palm tree. And this is the pattern that I end up doing. Because honestly, having a palm tree leaves go up and down and straight doesn't work. They all need to be going down because that's how they're, like, depicted more commonly. So that's what I ended up going with because of that. Because if you look at the ones that go up, they look really weird. But if they're just going down, well, that kind of does look like a palm tree. So that's what I actually ended up deciding on. But I'm still just trying to see if I can make it work, which it doesn't. But could try me, you know. It was an attempt. It was a failed attempt, but it was an attempt. So, there you go. And then I have to start building, because not only do I want a, like, normal palm tree that's smaller, I also want a ginormous palm tree. Because that's what, when in cartoons and stuff, that's what you see is these ginormous palm trees and these little baby palm trees, you know? So, I'm, like, figuring out how to do that and building up with it. For the base, which is a 2x2, you know, and, like, once I get the idea of that, and, like, how many times to go up with it, you know, and how big it should be, right, once I get that down, and then I need to start messing with the leaves part of it, you know? So I'm still just building up. Now I start the leaves, and I'm trying to make a like pattern to it that'll make sense, and it doesn't really work, in my opinion, because I go a little too fast too quick. So because it is bigger, you need to go out more, which is what I realize, and I go out more, and that's arc 1. I did need to go out a little bit more on that one, though, is the issue. So it did still look wonky. But I kind of base how I build it off of that. And same with this. And if I just, you know, copy that and have it arc like that, but have it longer, I feel like it'll work out. And it, in my opinion, it does. And it's a much better palm tree than some of these other palm trees that just make no sense and I cannot understand for the life of me. Because they're just abominations. I don't know how else to put it. Like, this, it's impossible to copy, it's impossible to follow, which, I mean, yeah, sure, great. That's great for you guys, but it doesn't work for me. And it was very frustrating to find a good palm tree. It's like finding a good Pokemon statue. I don't know how I find this, but I find things that apparently people haven't built a lot. And I gotta start creating my own thing. But that's part of building, you know? That's part of doing it. But now that I have that as my plan and idea, I gotta start chopping down some trees. I gotta get wood. I gotta collect stuff. So I kind of decide, you know, help out the server and chop the trees that were floating that people were too lazy to break. I don't blame them for it. I'm gonna be honest. But I'm also detrimental to the server because, well, I'm getting rid of a lot of the trees. Because I at least spent, like, I want to say 24 stacks of wood on these palm trees. It was a lot of wood. I got a lot of it to finish this wonderful thing. And, oh, by the way, I got a skeleton horse at some point. I named him Charlie. He's very special to me. But, yeah, you just gotta back to the grind of chopping wood and getting things and collecting more stuff so I can build another thing. Because I'm going to make it out of jungle wood and bamboo wood, so I need a lot of wood for it. And honestly, I'd rather do wood than slime blocks or, you know, copper. That's a much better plan to do than either of the others, because then I'd have to grind more for it, and that is not fun, you know. I have spent enough time on this project. I feel like I can cheap out and also have it look better with some wood. Just a lot of wood. So, you know, if anybody sets flame to it, it will completely be destroyed and I will be very sad, but I mean, that's a chance I'm willing to take. Literally. I'm literally taking that chance with this build. That's what happens with a lot of builds, though. I like to make builds with wood and, like, all the different types of wood. And I don't mind if it's gonna burn down with one flint and steel. Because, you know, that just means on that server I need to not build out of wood. Done and done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, you know? Make it more difficult. Time to build out of obsidian. I don't normally build out of obsidian. When I get upset, I'll just build out of stone. And do, like, the deep slate stone. So it's more annoying for people to get into it and mess with stuff, mainly. So, there you go. Tips and tricks with CatAtMat. If people burn down your stuff with wood, make stuff out of stone. But make it with difficult stone. And then you can also, you know, put some obsidian there randomly so you know the framing of your house so you can easily build it again when people try to blow it up. Or get so far away from everyone that they can't even, like, begin to mess with you. Or just build everything underground and you can still have things made out of wood. It's just so far underground that people will never find you. And you have a secret entrance to it that is difficult to find. And hopefully people don't use pie charts to find it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right? Yeah. No issues. Nothing will occur or be difficult. That's a lie. But, I mean, it's difficult to hide bases, honestly. Because there's so many ways to find them. Like, you can't place chests, you have to place barrels. And, like, another thing is, like, you can't have an E-chest. Or, like, based off of your entrance, if you have just one block placed wrong, people can find it. Because they're nitpicking over, like, the whole entire world. Which is really annoying. Like, on a server, I would literally, like, destroy the mention of a village just so people wouldn't be looking for a base around a village, because people know that you build a base, you'll have a base, there'll be a base nearby a village, because people get villagers for most of their bases. But anyway, back to farming and getting all of my nice carrots and vegetables, to which I have finished the circle. It is fully gone around the Oasis. So that is pretty neat, if I do say so myself. So, there you go. But then I come back, I trade with the woods villager and get all of my wonderful, wonderful jungle wood and bamboo wood. And I go back to my wonderful, wonderful Oasis, and I start building a wonderful, wonderful jungle tree. Not jungle tree. Bamboo tree. Not bamboo tree. Palm tree. There we go. I know my trees. I don't. But I'm trying my best here, guys. Please. I'm trying. Okay? But, alright. Back at the Oasis. Time to sleep. And it is time to get building. So, here's what I do. Alright? I pick a spot. And I start building a 2x2 square up, and up. I think I, like, count how far I go up. Like, I think I went by, like, 8 or 16. 8 then 16. Because I want it to be, like, really big compared to the Gyarados. So it needs to be standing over the Gyarados. So I need to pay attention to when I have it turn over and when it is, getting the palm trees, so that it will be larger than the Gyarados. So, or at least level with it, you know, either larger or level. That's the goal. If I feel a lot slower, it's because I'm not sped up for once. This is how slow my normal Minecraft is. I know it's crazy, guys, but that's how it is. That's how it be. That's how Minecraft be. Minecraft be like that. Anyway, but you know, just placing down blocks to slowly go up, because I'm being careful with how I do it, so that I do it correctly, so that I don't gotta, you know, when I'm placing down the leaves, I realize that I've not made it done the way that I wanted it done, which would be very, very sad and not fun. So you just gotta keep on trekking, keep on going. So there you go. I think I go up one more time after this, because I need it to be taller. Yeah. Because it's just going up and up and up. There's no, like, specific pattern to it, besides the pattern of placing down the jungle wood for it to go over. And then you know, place down the logs again to go up more. So that way it has, like, a bit of an arch, because palm trees do have, not an arch, but a sway to them. So, there you go. Alright, here is when I actually make the pattern for my leaves of my palm tree. Because I did not have a pattern before this. So, this is what I do. This is CatAtMat brain at work, which is called, alright, we're gonna build over until we think it's good to go down one. That's the plan. So I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I go down. And yes, the farmland does get hurt by it, but it's a required necessity for the palm trees. The palm trees are very much required on this, so it has to get done. It has to get done. But I'm just double checking. I want to go over by 4 right here, or if I want to go over by 5. With how it looks. And I'm gonna go over by another 4. Is what I'm trying to decide. Yeah, I go over by 4. I go back down. Place down the 2 blocks. I placed it down wrong. I placed way too many blocks down. But then scoop up the water. And then I gotta double check and go over again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Double checking. Go back down. Place it down. Place it over by 1. And then finish it up. Oh, fell. And then I finish it up. I decide yeah, that got placed wrong, so I gotta break it. Technical difficulties here, guys. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Alright. There we go. Finished. Easy peasy. Broke the blocks, placed it back down, and then place it down. And this is the pattern. Now this is crucial pattern to building the palm tree. So it's 4, 4, 4, 2. If that doesn't make sense to you, I'm very sorry. So what that means is I go over by 4, I go down 1, I go over by 4, I go down 1, I go over by 4, and then I go down 1, go over by 2, and go down 1 more time. And that is 1 leaf of the palm tree on your, not vertical, yeah, vertical and horizontal axis. So, there you go. And then diagonally, it's gonna have a different pattern. But this way, you know, we got a form, we got a way to do it, and it's gonna work. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. I did have my friend Corwick come and help again with the palm tree. He is very helpful because he matched the things and caught me when I had them off by a little bit. Because I did make a version where it was by 5 instead of 4. Which, I mean, that just gives you more character if you have one side by 5 and one side by 4. So, I mean, easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? So, but we goofed around a little bit with taking each other's water source blocks. But I showed him how to make the pattern of the palm tree leaves so that he could build it. And so he could actually help with building it. It was very nice of him to help building, because it also speeds up the process of doing it, which is really nice, because it takes a long time to do this stuff, you know. It'll take an hour to build a giant palm tree. Who'd have thunk about that, you know? So it all adds up with each little build on it. You know, you have the terraforming, you have a dock, you have the farmland going around, you have a Gyarados in the middle, then you have a palm tree on one side, and yes, there's going to be a second palm tree, and then we're going to have little tiny baby palm trees that are also going to be on here that are very important. But then you also got to take some time to fish, and then you also got to like grind to get your diamond stuff again, because I don't show it, but I did have to stop more than once to go mining so I could have like armor and tools to make this stuff at the same time. So it all takes time, but it also gives you more time to process and think about what you're doing, to figure out if you want to build a Gyarados or not, you know. So it's very important to have that time to process. At least for me it is, because if you don't give yourself that processing time, then you're gonna make it more difficult for you when you're actually building it or making stuff, because then you won't have any game plan to go and continue it, which is gonna make it more difficult. So you gotta keep these things in mind when you're doing stuff, because if your game plan is, oh, I want to build this, then you're going to spend all this extra time searching up stuff, then you could get distracted, you know. Once you're ready to build it, and you're not thinking of blocks when you start to build it, you realize you don't have the correct blocks in order to build it. So then you got to go look for blocks that either you can replace with, or you have to go grind to go get those blocks. It all will factor in with each other and make it more difficult along the road. So you got to keep it in mind when you're in the planning stage. But also, I understand that sometimes you just got to start it so you can get it done. So there you go. Alright, so this is the pattern for the diagonal ones, which is a 3, 2, 2, 1. So a little different. If that makes any sense, you go diagonal by 3, go down 1, go diagonal by 2, go down 1, go diagonal by 2, go down 1, and then go by 1 and go down. So that's in the placement of the blocks versus what you're doing to make sense for the leaves to be made. So, and of course this is going to be different than the tinier ones. So the larger trees have a different pattern than the smaller trees, of course, because you're going to need a different pattern because one is larger than the other. So of course you have to change what you're doing, and that will affect how it looks, but it's supposed to look different because they're larger. So you gotta keep in mind what you're doing and how you want it to be done so that it can look the way that you want it to look. It's an important step in building, to know what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, then you're just gonna constantly be changing what you're doing. It'll be never ending, and you will never finish that project. While I do come up with new stuff as I'm building it and making stuff, it's meant to be large, it's meant to have a lot of stuff with it. When you're just building a house, you need to decide in the beginning, well, what wood am I using? Am I going to be using wood? Am I using wood? What type of house is it? Is it going to be like a cottage? Is it a modern house? There's a lot of things to think about and variables to happen. So, but I ended up running out of wood with Korok there. So I had to go run and get more wood because I ran out of it. So I'm just grabbing and getting a bunch of more wood to get that for him and also for me so we can finish building the palm tree. I really appreciate him helping me, because when you get a friend that helps you, it really makes it go faster and it go easier. And you also enjoy it more because you get to joke around with them, you get to hang out with them. It makes it a lot more fun in my opinion. So there you go. But back to cutting down trees and doing all of that. Honestly, playing Minecraft in the base game, the most annoying tree to cut down is a mangrove tree. It is more annoying than cutting down these giant big trees. In fact, I would rather cut down these giant big trees than cut down mangrove trees, cherry trees, and aceta trees. I do not like the more recent trees that Mojang has made, because they have just made it more and more difficult to get that wood, right? Because you can only get it in the specific biome. And the mangrove biome is really annoying to find so that you can use it and build with it. And it's also annoying to maneuver around. And also the cherry tree is a little easier, in my opinion. A lot easier. Because with the mangrove wood, the leaves are so dense that I always leave just one left. And you also can't get just like 1 or 2 saplings. No, you gotta get like 13 to 32, because sometimes you just lose saplings due to they didn't grow and you took down the tree too fast, so now you don't have any saplings for your tree anymore. Have fun with that. Now you gotta go travel back to the mangrove forest to go get your trees and get your wood, and it's just so annoying, and it's such a pain and a hassle to mine the mangrove trees nowadays, because not only once you're done mining the wood, you have to mine the roots, because the roots don't just disappear on their own. No, they stay alive, and you gotta go mine them yourself. You can't just leave them be, because You know, they're a separate block, so they can't just disappear because they're roots, but they're not roots underground. No, they're roots above ground, which makes no sense to me at all. But, okay. I mean, I don't live in a mangrove swamp. I don't know what those trees look like normally. But, I mean, Minecraft is a game. It doesn't have to be realistic. Why are you making this tree so difficult to mine? With that, though, sometimes I will miss, like, the cherry trees, because it goes over just one more block that I didn't see, so it's really annoying to do and finish it, right? So, it's just, it adds up, you know, and it's annoying when it adds up, because you gotta get more trees. You gotta do more things. And I don't want to do more things. I want to be done with the trees. So there you go. It's a thing. I don't like them. The cherry trees are just also annoying. And it just makes me want to get like that plugin or the mod where it's just you break down the bottom block of the tree and then you're done, right? You don't gotta worry about it anymore. It's not your problem anymore. It gets completely destroyed, and sometimes you randomly get a golden apple, which is really nice of them. Like, it makes me want to go get that plugin with how annoyed I get with the trees. I don't know for the mangrove if it also destroys the roots, though. I have no idea, because I haven't used the plugin in that long. But, you know, cherry trees, I love them because of it. Same with the shida trees. It just makes it a lot easier to mine and do stuff. You know, giant spruce trees, taiga, best thing ever done, especially for villager trading with getting the trees. Because before that, the only 2x2 tree there was a jungle tree, actually. So that I actually agreed with that addition in Minecraft, of all things. So, but I get way too annoyed with the mangrove trees and cutting them down, because it takes forever. It makes you not want to do it. Like, for people that are just, you know, casually playing Minecraft, they're not going to cut that down. They're going to go find an oak forest and use that wood. They've really made it a lot more niche in the updates rather than for everyone in quality of life and stuff. So that it is what it is, but it doesn't make it easier or annoying. And speaking of trees that are annoying to cut down, nether trees are rather annoying, especially with like their wart, their right, nether wart, the whatever the things are that they use as the leaves of the trees, and they have shroomlights in them. Those are also annoying, because you'll just have a bunch of those after you mine the wood, and it's like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, either make it easier to mine, or, you know, why are these leaves? I know it's like supposed to be like an overgrown fungus, but like even like the mushrooms on the overworld, they're a lot easier to break than those. So it doesn't make sense with why they have it the way they do. It's an inconsistency that I do not appreciate or enjoy that much. This second tree, by the way, is going to be a little smaller than the other one, because I kind of got lazy and didn't want to get more wood in order to build it. So, that's a thing that I do and did. So, there you go. But, the trees are really annoying, and it's also really annoying to build trees. You don't think of needing to build trees unless, like, you're doing it for, like, a special project. Like, no one builds a tree, because you can just grow a tree. Like, why would you need to build one? Which, it's like, yeah, unless you want like a special tree or something. And it's really annoying, I feel like, difficult. I'm not gonna say annoying, I'm gonna say difficult to recapture that the nature of what a tree looks like. It's much more complicated, messy. There's not like a easy way to do it. I feel like it's just a lot of spending a bunch of time doing it instead of, just playing Minecraft and doing it. It makes it a lot more difficult and a much longer hassle, in my opinion, rather than just, letting it be a simple thing that you do and is done, and it makes it into a bigger thing than it needs to be, where, it could just be really simple and quick and easy, and bada bing, bada boom, you're done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And that's just not what happens with trees. And it sucks, because it makes it so much more difficult to build them. And in Minecraft, that's why I just like to do the sapling. It makes it so much simpler and easier. But if you're doing a tree that doesn't exist in Minecraft, or you don't have saplings on the server, you gotta do this. You resort to this, because if there was anything like that, I wouldn't be building this Oasis in the first place. So, that's what happens with challenge, and you gotta come up with new stuff because of the limitations that you are given on the server. I actually like it a lot, that I'm challenging myself with this. But I'm also very frustrated that nobody has any good builds that I can bounce off of to, like, get inspiration from. I kind of just gotta make up my own thing, because there's nothing good enough out there to want to copy, honestly. Like, the stuff that is good, it's so, like, complicated and overdone that you can't follow it at all. It makes it almost impossible to do it. And, like, it's not the trunks that are difficult of a tree, it's the leaves. I have such a hard time with leaves of a tree for some reason. It doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous. But that's what happens. That's what I have issues with. Is trees, of all things. Ironic, isn't it? But anyway, it is what it is. Now, if I jump around here, it's because I'm, like, going from helping out people or getting them something, because Korok's on the server and he's trying to get another friend to play. So I will have to stop and help them out with what they're doing. So, but besides that, I'm building. I just go back to building instantly. So, but if it jumps around, it's because I'm dealing with them. And that's the main thing, though. That's mainly it. And I'm gonna destroy more of my farmland, but it is what it is. Sacrifices must be made in the name of progress. Very much so in the name of progress. But, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't know. It just takes time to build. It's fun to have company with a friend when you do stuff like this, because they help you out if they can, and if not, they give you a good person to talk to and bounce ideas off of and just hang out with and have a fun time, and you can help them with stuff. So I like the community and working together of it, mainly. Because I like to work together and get stuff done with my friends, because that's fun to do for me. I get a lot of joy out of it. I know some people mainly get joy in Minecraft from ruining that or destroying stuff and getting rid of it, which I understand that. I honestly, what I used to like to do is I would make a copy of my world, and I would blow everything up in it. And some people thought I was the coolest for that, because I would invite them and be like, yo, I'm gonna blow up part of a bunch of my world. You want to join me? And they're like, oh yeah, I want to. Because there is a fun in just messing around and blowing a bunch of stuff up with TNT and messing with commands in Minecraft. There is a joy in that. Now, I don't do that for hours upon hours upon hours, nor do I do it very often anymore. But I understand the enjoyment of destruction, you know? But, you know, there's also people that get really upset by that because, well, they spent time on that. Why would you do that? And, you know, it makes people upset. But I see the humor, enjoying it, because there's always another perspective someone has in it, you know? You can't just, like, assume stuff or be like, oh, it's their fault, or, you know? And in other issues, you can't just, you know, let that person decide everything, you know, because they're just gonna not have anything built at the same time. But you also there's a point in not really caving but understanding, and there's also a point to be like, oh no, that's ridiculous, you're being mean. So it's a balancing act, I think. And I think one of the issues is when you get into a friend group and play on Minecraft and stuff, people start to make teams and they will excuse things that really shouldn't be excused, but because that person's the minority, they get written off even when it might be valid. There's other times though when that person is just completely wrong and they're being oversensitive and they kind of just need to suck it up. And it's so hard to know when that call is, you know? And it's really easy to get hurt feelings over that stuff rather than, you know, being happy and playing with your friends and having fun in Minecraft, a block game. So it's the interaction with people is really what gets me into Minecraft, not the doing it by yourself or the, you know, getting it all done. It's the community of it. And I know a lot of people like consider the Minecraft community to be pretty toxic, and I argue that's who you find and who you're hanging out with that is causing it to be toxic, and also how you interact with them. And I don't think people recognize their own part in how it affects the game, and also, you know, other people's parts, because it's hard to know which one is which sometimes, because it's hard to know when to step away, and it's hard to know when to stay put and hold your ground. But I think that's kind of valid for, you know, any part in arguments and stuff. So that's just is what it is. I try my best to just chill and have fun, because, you know, that's what I enjoy. It makes me happy. And so why purposely look for anger and stuff? And when you do find that, well, that's either when you decide to leave or you decide to change. And, you know, that's really up to you and what you do. You know? You can't expect other people to make that change or to have themselves change because of that. You know? You can't control other people with that type of stuff. It's their own decision. So, and you gotta live with that. Anyway, it's a lot of Minecraft for me is the social interaction, honestly. Because it's just not that fun playing it by yourself. Like, yeah, maybe for a week or two, but after that it gets really boring, and I really want to have other people play with me. And I really enjoy not having to do everything in the video game. And I can do my favorite parts so other people get to do their favorite parts. And we all just get to have fun the whole way around. It's a lot easier and it's a lot more fun, in my opinion. So, there you go. But I am getting more wood again, because while I have finished the 2 giant palm trees, we now have to do 2 smaller palm trees, which is what we're doing now. I lost the footage of me training it and getting it, but I have me building the palm trees, which is, like, more important than any of that. So, you know, building the palm tree, you know, very, very important. So I go up quite a bit, and these are the smaller ones, so it's a lot more simpler with how I do it. I just kind of go in a pattern of 1, 2, 3, and then well, 1, 2, 3, 4 actually. So, yeah, so one side is 1, 2, 3, and the other is 1, 2, 3, 4. So horizontally 4, vertically 2, and then I go down, and on the other one, I fell down. Hold up, and climbing back up. So I go over only 1, but on the smaller ones, I'm also going to go over 1, but I'm gonna break that little middle part. So I go down, place down a block, and then I gotta break that block. Bada bing, bada boom. Done and done for those. Now, to do the diagonal ones, right, we're gonna start with 1, and we're gonna go across 3, break the 2 blocks, and then go down and across 1. And that's the pattern. That's the pattern. That's it. Done and done. Repeat that for the next 4, right? And you have a tiny palm tree on your hands. It's great. It's not tiny at all, actually. I'd say it's a large palm tree, you know, medium palm tree instead of not large, medium, because you have your giant one that we built earlier. So now we got this the smaller but like medium to large sized one, and that is a palm tree. It's crazy. We're gonna build another 3 of these, and I'm gonna have to fix my farm again after, you know, fixing it previously, because, you know, water, you gotta climb up and you gotta get stuff done, and it ruins farms because of it, but it's very needed. So there you go. I believe it's go up 5, 2, and then another 5 for how far it goes up on the trunk of it. So there's that dimensions if you want to do specifically that. You can make it smaller or taller, you know, it's up to you on that part. I don't think that one's as important as the actual leaves of it, but maybe that's just me because I have a difficult time with the leaves, you know? That might just be my bias talking there, who knows. But these are palm trees, and they're very nice and look well to me. I like how they turned out, and I think they look rather good and fancy, if I do say so myself. So, there you go. We're getting closer and closer. As I'm building this, I'm thinking of if I want to add anything more, because it does look a little vacant, you know, you just have like palm trees and Oasis. I'm like, well, what else can I add here? And I'm like, maybe like a hut hotel type of thing. Like, I was thinking like a house, right? And like, when you look at like vacation spots, they give you like this hut hotel type of thing, right? Where it's in the water and stuff. And you also have like umbrellas to like tan and sit by the beach and stuff. So that's what I was thinking for another thing to add. And it took a while to figure out what I wanted to do for like the hut hotel thing. And I looked at stuff, and I made it a little smaller than what the image I found was, because it was a little too big for what I wanted to build. I wanted it to be smaller than that. But I did have it almost just as detailed. And it was like an 8 by 12, something like that. So, I mean, there you go. But yeah, that's that's what it is, and that's what I do, and that's what I was thinking and looking at, and you know, got to build the last one. I was starting to forget at that point what I needed to do for the pattern, because you know, it takes about 15 minutes for each one to do, and you know, when you got to get wood and stuff, or sometimes it's just you get caught up in talking, you kind of forget what you're doing. So it happens, because that's the thing with talking with people, is you can get too caught up in what you're talking about, and then you stop building. And while it's weird to see those pauses, like, it does make the time go faster when you are building it, because you're not having to think about it as much, but you do also have to still think, because you're still building something and you gotta know how to build it. So you gotta, it's a little bit more to multitask it with this type of build than just, you know, terraining it. So it all adds up to more things, but there's always more things that you can come up and do as long as you think of it, which I just thought of like 3 more things to do. So after the palm tree, I gotta go do those now, which is gonna be fun. It's a never-ending project, and I would have it no other way, because I do want it to feel like full, and there's like a bunch of stuff, and it is like lived in, you know? I don't want it to be like just, oh, there's palm trees and it's Oasis, done and done. No, I need to add the CatAtMat touch to it, so you can't have it simple and easy. And this is me building the hotel hut thing here right now. I'm placing down stuff, using the last of the wood that I got to build it. I'm gonna probably have to get more wood eventually, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. We're gonna get it done first, so that's priority uno. So there you go. Building the stairs, and then I gotta build across, because there's gonna be a fencing around it, so there's gonna be a little bit more area taken from it. And you also have the, you know, it's above water, so you gotta show that it has like stilts going up. So then you gotta build the platform for it, which is gonna take a while, but it's also important because, you know, you want the platform to look good and be nice and welcoming ish. But so yeah, so just filling in the platform. I tried to have stairs go around and have the what's it called, slabs go in the inside of it. And there's gonna be another area going down, it's going over, so, but I decided to start working on the house itself for what I wanted to build. And I was just looking at how to, you know, position it and how tall it would be. So gotta make it look nice, but also figuring out how it's working. So there you go. Then we got a pattern, and it goes in for the little thing, and you know, we're not keeping it green, of course. It's gonna be stripped yellow. It would look weird if it was just green. So but yeah, like a little bamboo hut type of thing is what I was trying to go for, which is why I'm using the bamboo blocks. Then I'm gonna use the last of them for it. So there you go. And I'm just stripping it so I can see how it looks as I'm building it. And then I gotta go back up, and I'm gonna build up one more and start the actual, how the hut itself is going to look, because the bamboo kind of goes with it based off of the reference I'm looking at, because I do want it to be a little more complicated, not as simplistic. So I'm looking at my reference and copying it right now. So it was I'm not against like references and looking at them, and you know, I might be copying from it, but they are not using the same blocks as I am. I did make it smaller than how they made it, so I do consider it a reference, not just I'm basically copying from them, because I'm not 100% copying from them. I am making adjustments as to what I want, because I'm also not making it as complex as they want, but I'm also, you know, looking at it and trying to replicate it in some aspects. So that's, there you go. I don't like it when people assume, oh, you're just copying it completely, you're a bad builder because of that. And it's like, well, I'm not actually, but you know, you'd have to know more about building to notice that, or to see how there's been changes made. And you know, you'd actually have to go build it yourself to know that. So it annoys me when people just make assumptions, because there's no need to. You know, it's like, great, but it's a waste of time, you know. And honestly, even if I am taking it, they're not mixing it up the same way I am and putting together the stuff. Like, they don't have the resort in an Oasis full of palm trees and a Gyarados in the lake. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't think anybody would do that except me. So it's where you put things, it's how you think of it, it's how it's, you know, put together. But this is, I'm doing the roof of the hut, and I'm gonna run out of bamboo soon, which is gonna be an issue. But you know, fear not, the solutions will be made and will be had. Don't worry. But yeah, just getting things done and building and placing down slabs and copying each side so that I don't forget what each side looks like, and making sure it looks okay, and like trying to make a pattern to it so that it goes inside. I'm trying to make it look like it goes in. So that's what I'm doing right here. And I'm gonna place down the blocks, and then it's off by a slab, and I'm thinking of how to make it go in more, and I'm seeing where I'm off by a block, and we're fixing that, and then placing down the last, and that's the hut. That's the main part of the hut with the roofing. You know, got to decorate the inside still and stuff, but that's the main de la core, the main thing, main course. So easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Got to make some windows, you know, make it seem like more. So now we gotta build the lower part and the extension to our deck, to our little platform stuff, and we gotta decorate the inside, make it look nice and fancy. And I'm just thinking of stuff to add, put on a crafting table, put in a furnace, and like, just, you know, little adjustments to make it look good, and not, you know, making sure everything's hidden the way it needs to be, and all that fun jazz, you know. Making fences to go around the you know, our platform so you don't fall. Very important. Gotta finish placing down the rest of those stairs. I will get that last stair later, don't worry about it. It's just not temporarily because I don't have the blocks. And then I start building the next supports to the platform for it to go forward. and also for it to go down then. So I'm gonna add, like, there's gonna be like a little jacuzzi, a very tiny jacuzzi area, along with some mats, towels, chairs to lay down on. There we go. That you can lay down and relax on. And then you can also, you know, this way you can also walk down and swim. I gotta get more wood though. I did run out of wood, so for me to be able to build that next area, I gotta get more wood, because it's kind of needed to build the next part of it. So I gotta do that, because that is important to the making of it. So there you go. But we're getting close. It's the home stretch. I'm getting there. I'm getting it done. It just all takes time. I think the hut really helps add on a little more to it, you know, makes it feel like there's more things to it. And I am gonna add a lounge area, but right now I gotta finish up this little hut right here and get it done. So that's important to accomplish. So there you go. And I'm just making sure this will work with my pattern. And I'm gonna do slaps here all the way. And making sure that's done. Interacting with people on the server as they ask stuff. But it is getting accomplished and finished and fully made, and I don't have to worry about it ever again. Yay! I'm just constantly looking back and forth at the reference right now and making sure it, you know, looks right and it doesn't look too wonky because it is smaller with it, and thinking of what I need to do to build it, because, you know, to do the jacuzzi, it's gonna be white, so I'm gonna have to get the blocks to do that, and I'm also gonna have to place down the glass, and I also got to expand the platform, so I gotta place down more fences and do that. And it just, you know, little tiny things, fixing up stuff, getting that done, making sure it works and it will look okay as I'm thinking about it, and hoping it doesn't look too weird, but also looking at what they did to it. So there you go. That's what it is. I really enjoy just, you know, experimenting, building as I go, making sure it works as I build it. It makes it a little longer. I do have to move my supports where I built them, because it doesn't work. So I'm gonna have to move those. As you see, this is my very, very, very tiny wood jacuzzi. It is extremely small, and it's fine. It's fine. It works out, you know. It's more for the decoration than anything else. So I keep debating on how like big to make it too, which is why it like is taking that long for it. And then I gotta build a way down, and I realize that it's a very, very small jacuzzi. I've realized my mistakes. So I'm gonna do that. I place the glass down. I gotta fill it up with water, which is gonna take a little tiny bit. And I'm trying to think of how to place it. And then I finish that up. The jacuzzi is made. You can easily drown in it, and that is perfectly okay. Nothing bad will happen from it. Nothing at all. No one will sit in it and drown because they're lazy and they don't leave, which would be very sad, but also very funny at the same time. But, so now I have the stairs down, and I realize I have to move the supports finally that I had placed down a long time ago to the new area. And I also got to make some more jungle planks first. Slabs, actually. So, just getting all of that done and finished and wrapped up. And, you know, these smaller things, well, they take time. It does add up, you know. This definitely didn't take as long as the Gyarados, but it did take a while. And, but I feel like it's really worth it. I feel like, you know, the smaller touches, the smaller additions, they really add up to each other, you know? It's by putting in that extra effort and wanting to add those little tweaks that can really make something be much better and bigger than it originally was, you know? It's, especially in, you'll see it in, like, arts, and, like, when artists do stuff, you know? By adding just, like, a few more things, it can completely transform a piece into something completely different. Same with removing some stuff that's needed to be removed. So, there you go. I had left for a bit, and I had to go get some stuff, like cobble and wood for decoration, to make things, because I wanted to add some more stuff to it, so, because I wanted to make a little chimney and stuff, so that's that. I also added lamps, so I got iron earlier. We got this area finished. I placed down some fencing earlier, and then I'm just placing down lanterns, making sure everything's lit up so it doesn't look bad. I make a little fake chimney for the furnace. I go back to get some wood and stuff for decoration, which is needed. So I grab what I need from that, go back. A lot of back and forth, because when you don't know what you're really doing, you just kind of think about it and go back. And I'm in VC with a bunch of people at that time, just talking and chatting. And I do have, I ended up convincing one of them to come see it to get what they think about it. And they gave a suggestion that was pretty useful, that I should probably listen to, but we'll worry about that later. I start working on decorating and making more lounge spots, and I make the first lounge spot, which is basically a chair. Then you got the sign to make it like as little places to rest your arms, and then a slab so you have like a little extra sitting area is what I do for the decoration of it. Pretty simple and easy to make, and I think it works pretty well as something simplistic. So there you go. That's done and finished, and now I am making separate lounge spots with a umbrella to sit underneath for, and it's basically the same pattern. They're a little longer, and the umbrella is not made out of wool, it's made out of wood, because that's what I had. But they're much longer, you know, to be fancier. You know, you gotta have a reason. I do try and make it out of carpet at first though, but as I was making it, I realized it wasn't going to work, so I switched to wood, because it would have been really annoying to kill the spiders that I needed to get enough carpet. So that's why I did what I did. So there you go. And speaking of spiders, one's attacking. but I'm just getting different wood because I did jungle wood and birch wood is what I alternated with. And I didn't have it flat, actually. What I do is, because it doesn't look that good flat, is I made it more arched. So what I did is I did that, and then I placed down more of the jungle wood over, and that made a nice umbrella look to it more, and having it arch down and be like an actual umbrella. So that's what I ended up doing. I then built another one to go with it, so that, you know, same pattern, same everything. Yeah, just making that again. And, you know, I don't know why I keep placing down 2 crafting tables. It just happens. But just going up the same way, placing down the same stuff, and making sure it looks the same as the previous one. And then I had to make the birch slabs like down, and same as the last one. I had a little difficulty figuring out how to do that, but I figured out a method that, you know, took a while, but it worked. It worked. We're all good. So, it all works well in the end, and you got 2 of those. And then I wanted to do one more, but I wanted it to look different than the other 2. I kind of wanted it to be like a bar area, a drink area. It didn't really look like that. It was more just like a sitting table area instead, which, I mean, that also works, you know. Of course, there's also another umbrella there, because you can't not have an umbrella. Very important to have the umbrella, you know. So, just little small little chair area, little lounge area to have. So, that's what I did. And then I had to make another umbrella, but I put up some of my stuff because my inventory was very, very full at that point, so I just had to organize. I also got some more carrots because, you know, people were apparently starving, so I collected that. I also had to, like, there were some areas from earlier that got waterlogged that needed fixed anyway, so I needed extra carrots for it. But then I got my friend Nico to come and talk with, and he gave some insight into our wonderful, wonderful Oasis. So this is the Oasis.
I don't have any what is it, the spikes to drop on you. Badly.
Disappointment in the name of life. What do you think, though? What do you think, though? I'm pretty happy with this build.
Oh shit!
Stop dying. What do you think, though? I'm pretty happy with this build.
It looks really nice. It's just the scenery around it.
Yeah, it sucks, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an oasis. It's a. You know.
I think you need more sand.
You think I need to add more sand past this?
Yeah, you gotta have some terraforming. I'm sorry.
So that's just wonderful and peachy keen, and you know, he's right. I do need more sand, and it will make it look more connected together and all of that. But now I gotta go at it all and go get sand again, all over again, which is gonna be wonderful and swell and amazing, and you know, it's gonna look a lot better. I'm not gonna say no, it's not, but this adds some more time to it. Gotta go get a bunch of sand again, even though I thought I was done with terrain and all of that, and I thought I was officially done with the Oasis, but I'm not, and he's correct, and we gotta go get all of those wonderful things, and that's why you have friends, is so they can come and point out obvious things that you need to go do, because that's just great. It's wonderful. I love life. It's so amazing and wonderful. Yay! I'm also waiting on fish. I'm going crazy. No, but here's another benefit of having friends is so they can help critique and point out really obvious stuff that you should have noticed earlier, but you didn't because you were being lazy and you thought you could get away with it. And they're like, no, you can't get away with it. And you're like, darn it, you're right, I can't. So now I gotta start getting a bunch of sand and placing it all around to make it blend more, and also break some dirt to have it blend and have it look well and swell and amazing, and you know, actually have it officially finished and look great. Oh, it's so cool coming into it, though. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it, you know? Because having it look and come into it, oh, it's worth it. It's worth it. That's what I'm telling myself. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. So I'm just using my sand and placing it. I'm only going by 3 to do it right now, just to see how it works. So there you go. Just going 1, 2, 3, and I'm not gonna place more blocks to terraform it even more. I've already terraformed this area to death. I think it can do without some terraforming. So there you go. And yeah, I'm just placing. Server owner's kind of messing with me. And I'm just placing more and more sands, and, you know, being upset that I have to place more sand, but knowing that Nico is correct that I should place more sand. And I'm just doing that. I actually did this pretty quickly, and I didn't have to do as many trips as I thought I would have to. It's as if filling it in takes less than outlining it in sand. That's kind of crazy to think about, but it's true. So this actually went a lot faster than I thought it would have taken me. And after that, as I'm running around and looking at all of it, and like, yeah, this is cool, I realize, if you look at the gravel, there's random patches of gravel everywhere, right? And it kind of connects into it, and when you also run in the desert, it kind of gets into it. And I just kind of, I'm going around being happy I got free sand from the server crashing. It logged back my inventory, but not the server itself, which was great. So I got a bunch of sand because of it. And so there you go. I placed down the sand, and then I decide to like even it out, right? So I'm like placing more in certain areas because it's just like a 1 block difference. So I just add more onto it to make it look not as weird, I guess, is what I'm saying. Also make it thicker in some areas, you know, for it to just blend in more. And I'm just doing that over certain areas over and over, you know. And as I'm doing that, I'm just getting it done, you know. It's just terraforming, you know, adding stuff where it's needed, running around to the other area and edge, making it, you know, fill out into what's being done, and getting it all finished and dealt with, and I never have to deal with it ever again. I blame Nico for all of this. No, I actually really appreciate that he gave that suggestion and wasn't afraid to tell me that, because it was fair and honest and a good point upon itself. So, but as I'm doing this and I'm filling up the last of it, I ended up having a few extra sand, and what I did is I'm like, oh, I'll just like break a few blocks and kind of make it look like the gravel blends into it. Let's see, what does that look like? Does that look good? And I'm like, yeah, now I gotta do this around the whole entire Oasis. So, last minute touches, guys. We gotta add this last minute, and it's worth it. It's worth it. I really do think it is, because it really finishes it up and adds it and blends it into the actual world instead of it just magically appearing out of nowhere. You know, it actually works with it, and it finishes it up, and it makes it connect and come together. And I'm gonna, you know, kind of take a break for a while after this. It has been a blast making it and getting to talk about it, because I spent a lot of hours making this Oasis and also making the video. I know I'm not the best with editing, but I tried my best, because there's hours upon hours that I'm combing through of stuff to show what I did and show my process and show what I'm grinding and getting to build it, to make it. Because I think it's important that people know about that stuff, and it's not just a, you know, big giant replay mod shoot of me building it. I think that's kind of lame and boring. There's a lot more you can add to it and make it look better and good. And rather than just finishing to finish it, I'm finishing it because I think this is what looks best in the end. And I think there's a important nuance, delineation between those two things that is important to notice and to know about and to realize. So there you go. I spent a lot of time on this. I feel like it was worth it. I got to hang out with friends. I got to make a really cool build that I'm really proud of, actually. And I got to challenge myself in new areas that I've never done before. And I got to have a fun time overall. I got to talk about what I enjoy in Minecraft and what I do in Minecraft and my thought process within it all. And, you know, the importance of creativity in Minecraft, because it's a thing. But also, you know, knowing your limits too at the same time. So, yeah, Minecraft, things and stuff and things. But, you know, this is the finishing touches. It's really important to do these because it's what makes it look better in the end, in my opinion. And because you put in the extra momentum to finish it up, you know, that's what truly makes you an artist and a builder and a creator, is never losing or giving up in your passion. The determination to finish it, the persistence, it's all very important things that you do in order to create really cool and wonderful things. So, there you go. This has been CatAtMat. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I am going to sign off. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed making this. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's really long. I put a lot of passion into this and I spent a lot of time on making it. And I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.